Testing 1, 2. Hello, everybody. Happy to have you along back with us. This is bizarre.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's game is brought to you by the Federal Prospects Hockey League, the FPHL, and Topeka Scarecrows would like to thank everyone in attendance and thank you for your support of professional hockey in the Scotland Vale Event Center. Fans, don't forget to get your chunk of fun before the second intermission and win a chance at a team signed jersey. Stop by the merchandise stand at section 123 and get your chunk of pops. Scarecrow fans, make sure to get your 15-15 tickets for tonight's game. Stop by the merchandise stand and get your 15-15 tickets tonight. Oh, doesn't that look good? Look at the Stanley Stacker. Got the Maze Craze nachos, the strong snack cuisine. Oh, and some goodies. Get that at your concession stand tonight. You ready for some Saturday night hockey? Folks, let's get something straight. We got the best Zamboni driver in the FPHL. Let's hear it from my man, Chad the Zamboni Man. Chad.
Test.
Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold, but you will remember me for centuries. Just one mistake is all it will take. We'll go down in history. Remember me for centuries. Remember me for centuries. Mama tied my teenage dreams.
Strength isn't built in a single race. It's earned, mile after mile, pedal after pedal, step after step. The same endurance that drives athletes to the finish line fuels the steady hands and sharp focus required in surgery. It's about resilience, precision, and commitment in competition and in the operating room. Because true performance means showing up with excellence, no matter the arena.
Need an oil change but can't find the time? Matt Bowers Hyundai has free pickup and delivery for oil changes. If you live or work near Matt Bowers Hyundai in Gulfport, it doesn't get any easier. We'll come pick up your car at your home or business, leave you a loaner vehicle, change your oil, and give you a complimentary inspection. We'll even throw in a free car wash and bring your vehicle right back same day, zero hassle. Call now to schedule.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
Fly in for a daiquiri that scores every time. Mile High Daiquiris is an aviation-themed daiquiri shop and the official daiquiri of the Biloxi Breakers. Open 7 days a week and offering 15 refreshing flavors, Jell-O shots, beer, and even a non-alcoholic daiquiri. They supply mobile daiquiris for weddings, birthday parties, and events. Only 4.6 miles west of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. Grab your crew and come try the best daiquiris on the Gulf Coast where flavor takes flight. Become a frequent flyer at 1107 Cohen Road, Suite B, Gulfport.
At Superior Optical Lab, we're proud to be certified as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and to provide quality eyewear to veterans to whom we all owe our freedom. Thank you for your service.
Recharge your body. Reset your mind. Revive your spirit. At Revive and Thrive, every detail is designed to elevate your recovery and well-being. Unwind in our serene salt therapy room and float suite. Awaken your senses with the benefits of cold water immersion. Then, step into a custom-built sauna featuring soft Himalayan salt lighting for athletes, adventurers, and anyone ready to unlock the power of recovery. Discover the difference at reviveandthrivems.com.
The Mississippi Gulf Coast is where community and teamwork come together, on and off the ice. Foshi Residential is proud to support the Biloxi Breakers as they bring the heat to the rink this season. Foshi Residential manages 3 unique apartment communities along the coast, each offering modern finishes, resort-style amenities, and a location that puts coastal living right at your doorstep. Ready to find your community? Visit foshiresidential.com/Biloxi Breakers for more information.
When injury knocks you out, Bienville Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Coastal Prints is a brand new business on the coast specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items. Being local and with 30 plus years of experience, Coastal Prints carries all the hottest clothing brands and thousands of promotional items. Uniforms, workwear, hats, drinkware, coolers, tchotchkes, and much more. Coastal Prints will make your brand and logo stand out. Come see the new showroom on Seaway Road in Gulfport or visit coastalprints.com or call 228-COASTAL.
Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores, that's a good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Where players dash and skates so flash, the home team trails behind. But they grab the puck and go bursting up and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a good old hockey game.
Well, hello again, everybody. Devin Dovek along with you live from Topeka, Kansas. It's the Scarecrows and the Breakers going at it for the second time this season. Last night was a fun one. We had a delayed start, but in front of 6,712 fans, the Topeka Scarecrows remain undefeated with another win, improving to 3-0. The Breakers dropped to 0-2, a 5-2 final in that one. The Breakers put up a fight, but in what turned out to be a sloppy game with a lot of penalties, unfortunately, the Cards just weren't dealt what the Breakers needed. And when they couldn't pick up momentum down the stretch, it really ultimately led to their demise. They got that big goal in the third period on the power play to make it a 4-2 game, but couldn't muster anything after that. It got chippy, and tonight, you can definitely expect that some scores will be settled. Returning to the lineup for the Topeka Scarecrows is Justin Schmidt, the player assistant coach. He is excited to put on a show for the home crowd, and you know he's going to be looking for one. Will anyone answer the bell? That will be the million-dollar question for the Breakers, because you know somebody's going to have to get physical. They were definitely out-physicaled last game. Topeka finishing their checks. A lot of penalties, a lot of ticky-tack calls, stick infractions, things like that. Hopefully they'll be ironed out for both sides tonight. But we saw Elwha Bouchard get run into twice in last night's affair. With Josh Rosenzweig in between the pipes tonight for the Breakers, you can bet your bottom dollar he is not going to let any of that happen. So we shall see. We're about 6 minutes from puck drop here. We'll step aside and be back in a few short moments right here on the Breakers TV pregame show.
The following is a presentation of the Federal Prospects Hockey League. Any unauthorized broadcast without the express written consent of the Biloxi Breakers and the FPHL are strictly prohibited.
Nice little quick break for our copyright there, but players to watch for the Breakers tonight. Of course, we saw the emergence of Yaroslav Dakamov come back to Mississippi, or rather to Biloxi, and he checked in on the score sheet with a big goal, his first as a member of the Breakers, hoping he can build off that. He also had about 2 or 3 other scoring chances that once he gets 10 games under his belt and back into the flow of things, you can see that he's going to get back to his old ways. So very excited to have Yara around. Josh Rosenzweig, as we mentioned, going to be a critical piece for the Breakers coming into this one. Rosenzweig, in his career, 25-16-0-2 in the Fed, a .914 save percentage and a 2.90 goals against average. He's played in the OHL. He's more than capable of this moment. So, without further ado, let's send it to ice level as things are getting going here. You can see the lights going off. They got their nice little Topeka intro video here showing all the teams. And this is what was playing last night when they had the camera on the ice as opposed to on the video board. So just showing all the aspects of Topeka, of course, the history of hockey here, both junior and professional. Of course, the last time there was a hockey team here, coronavirus thwarted the end of the season, and now the Breakers and the Scarecrows set to go at it for the second time in as many nights. They have put together a pretty good production here inside the Stormont Vale Event Center. These were the neutral games from last season. Might recognize some of the players who are still playing here tonight, including 4 former Topeka Scarecrows who were represented by the Dashers Hockey Club. That's Quinn O'Reilly, of course, the Wichita, Kansas native. O'Reilly skated out with the Kansas flag yesterday, which was a really cool moment, especially with between 25 and 50 family and friends in the house. But O'Reilly's father also played in the CHL for the Wichita Thunder from 97 to 02. He had 169 points, but even more jaw-dropping, 926 penalty minutes. So you know that physical hockey runs in the O'Reilly family. But continuing on with those skaters for the Dashers, Jacob Gagnon, of course, who we saw last night for the Scarecrows. He assisted the first goal in franchise history last Friday. Then there's Thomas Murphy. He had a pair of goals last night, but he actually will, believe it or not, be out of tonight's lineup. Unfortunately, Murphy will be out with a hip injury after a body check collision just before that second goal. And then finally, of course, Trey Fisher, the one who administered that hit on his former teammate, will be in the lineup for the Breakers. They're bringing the cars onto the ice again. We won't have nearly as long of a pregame as we did on night 1 last night when things got going closer to 7:35 or so. They've got 2 more minutes on the clock until I would imagine the boys will be out for starting lineups. Another good crowd tonight, not quite 6,700, but it looks to the naked eye as if there's at least 3,000 to 4,000 people in attendance. They've got the upper bowl open, but if you brought everybody down, I have a feeling the lower bowl would be completely full, and that usually means at least 3,500. So another good crowd. It's going to be a tough environment for these Breakers to play in. Charlie Pence Jr. making the necessary adjustments to try and get his team on par for today. Opposing Josh Rosenzweig in between the pipes will be Daniel Brizgalov, making his professional debut tonight. Rookie out of Moscow, Russia. In 23 to 25 was with Toros Neftekamps of the VHL. His last 2 seasons, a .912 save percentage, 2.84 goals against average, and 2 shutouts. Last played in the U.S. back in 2019 to 2020 for Shattuck St. Mary's, and then he went to the Boston Hockey Academy. So a guy who has plenty of experience and excited to make his Scarecrows debut tonight, but going up against Rosenzweig, who, as I've alluded to, was one of the best goaltenders in the FPHL last season. Rosenzweig holds the OHL records for most saves in a game with 61 and most goalie points in a season with 11. He made his professional debut a couple years ago with the Watertown Wolves, was with the Athens Rock Lobsters last season, and now with the Breakers here tonight. This will be his second start of the season in 3 games. He was lifted from his first after surrendering 4 goals on 11 shots. But if you know anything about Josh Rosenzweig's hockey journey, that's a fluke and won't last for long. He's fired up and ready to get his boys going here tonight as they continue to bring Jeep after Jeep onto the ice. An endless line, as you're seeing on your screen here. Yeah, there's some sweet vehicles out on the ice. Of course, a couple Scarecrows mascots as well. It looks like some fans have taken the liberty of making their own renditions of the Scarecrows. We see that on our screen right now, kind of another alter ego mascot. Talk about an entertaining intro last night, though, with the Topeka Scarecrows mascot in front of a full house, flying around the ice, waving the flag back and forth, and eventually planting it at center ice. to initiate everything. And here he comes again. His name is Stanley the Scarecrow, and he's quickly become a hot commodity and main attraction here in Topeka. You see the billboards all around. Stanley just hit a little celly right through his own logo at center ice. There's also another mascot that was born earlier today, and that's, of course, the PD Ice Cats mascot. Go and check out their social media channels to see the Ice Cats' new mascot, but he's got quite the head of hair on him. Quite the mascot project that Parker Moskal and his crew put together there. Ice Cats with a 6-4 victory last night against the Twin City Thunderbirds on the road. Those two teams battling again here tonight. Another good storyline across the FPHL is, of course, Seth Bacon, a former Monroe Moccasins fan favorite and a guy who had close to 100 penalty minutes last season for the Moccasins, will be suiting up for the Baton Rouge Zydeco, in-state rival. Of course, the Zydeco and the Moccasins squaring off tonight, and you have to imagine Seth Bacon is going to be out for some blood against his former team who released him just before the start of the season. But they've still got the cars on the ice. I have to do a quick count. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, and counting, pouring onto the ice here. The Topeka Scarecrows set to fire out of the tunnel again. I'm not sure if they're going to go one by one. Looks like they're going to go for the starters, and then the rest will follow them out. Jacob Gagnon, defenseman from Fresno, California, takes his place on the blue line. Quinn O'Reilly, who had a pair of assists and was the game's third star last night, comes to join his former Dashers teammate on the blue line. Hugo Koch as well will glide on out there. Koch, a guy who is so poised, took a couple penalties last night that were uncharacteristic for him, but he's a playmaker, a guy who's so smart with the puck. Joining him, Elijah Wilson. He had a lot of words for the Breakers last night, was running his mouth a lot. The Breakers took exception to it. Will Wilson dropped the gloves tonight. Scott Koash also out there. Looks like they're firing everybody out of the tunnel as opposed to just the starters. And of course, it is only game 2. And some of these fans who weren't fortunate enough to be in the building last night did not get a chance to see these guys. Corey Checo, who had a pair of assists as well last night. He actually was the first to run Elwha Bouchard, but it certainly appeared as if that one was incidental. The Scott Koash one, which came 5 minutes later, seemed like he either toe-picked or went right through Bouchard without warning. But the Breakers are not going to be happy about seeing their goaltender get run. And as I mentioned earlier, Josh Rosenzweig, a netminder with a ton of size at 6'3", 200, is going to protect his own crease. So the Scarecrows are going to have to be extra cautious tonight. But really excited to see that goalie matchup between Rosenzweig and Brizgalov. Papa Petros fires out. He looked good last night. Another poised veteran, was with Athens for a dozen games last season. Jacob Wolf also heading out on the ice. And now Avery Smith will close out the skaters before we get into the netminders. Sammy Bernard, who was exceptional last night. The Breakers did outshoot the Scarecrows, but Bernard was really the difference. And don't get me wrong, Elwha Bouchard made some incredible saves, especially from post to post. But Bernard just did a little bit extra, and ultimately it was enough to lift the Scarecrows to their third straight victory. Daniel Brizgalov, the final one out, and we'll get set for the national anthem here from the Stormont Vale Events Center momentarily.
Dr. Ball.
Oh, beautiful. They have the ice in red, white, and blue currently. The Scarecrow zone in blue, the neutral zone in white, and the Breakers end in red. A really cool visual that it's created here for our nation's anthem. Still got all the cars out on the ice. Don Lewis, the owner of the Scarecrows, down escorting the kids into the right areas. What an impact he's made in the community here in Topeka, as we'll get ready for the anthem officially now.
Please remain standing. We now welcome students from Watchburn Rural North Middle School Choir, led by Thomas Letlock, to perform tonight's national anthem.
The following is a presentation of the Federal Prospects Hockey League. Any unauthorized broadcasts without the express written consent of the Biloxi Breakers and the FPHL are strictly prohibited.
All right, we are set to go here. It's Hockey Night Live from Topeka, Kansas. My name's Devin Dobek, the voice of the Breakers, along with you. It's the Breakers and the Scarecrows going at it for the second time this season. The Scarecrows taking last night's affair by a final score of 5-2. We mentioned that Thomas Murphy is out of the lineup for the Scarecrows, but on the Breakers side of things, another injury of their own, and it's at the worst possible position you can imagine. Of course, the defensive side of things, which has been a bit of a weakness for the Breakers early on, has just gotten a little bit more limited. Declan Flanagan out of tonight's game with an injury. So Declan Flanagan, who was a top two defenseman for the Breakers, now out of the lineup, and we'll see how Coach Charlie Pens looks to fill his void. Now that the kids are leaving the ice, they'll start to get the Jeeps off the ice. Of course, this always takes a few short moments. So we'll step aside and take a quick timeout and be back for the Breakers and the Scarecrows. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a splash on Breakers TV.
Strength isn't built in a single race. It's earned, mile after mile, pedal after pedal, step after step. The same endurance that drives athletes to the finish line fuels the steady hands and sharp focus required in surgery. It's about resilience, precision, and commitment in competition and in the operating room. Because true performance means showing up with excellence, no matter the arena.
And we welcome you back inside the Stormont Vale Event Center. My name's Devin Dobek, excited for round 2 of the Breakers and the Scarecrows. They still haven't brought the Breakers out on the ice due to the cars, which reside in the way. You see Josh Rosenzweig in the corner, peering around the tunnel. Excited to lead his team out of the gate. But it always takes a good amount of time to get these cars off. There's also another Jeep right in the middle of the boards. It looks like there's some suited figures directing traffic out on the ice. Maybe getting the photographers to do some stuff. Now some people outside of the Jeep trying to beckon orders to get people headed in the right direction here so we can drop the puck. Looks like
There we go.
we got some people who are cutting the line here a little bit as well. You just saw that at the bottom of your screen in the corner. So the Jeeps get a nice ovation. It's definitely a little bit of gamesmanship, you'd have to imagine. Now Don Lewis escorting his other team onto the ice. Of course, he's probably pulling for the home guys tonight. He worked so hard in the offseason, as we've mentioned. As now the Breakers will weave on through the ice around the Jeeps, and you can see it's definitely a bit of rush hour traffic on the ice. Wherever you're listening from, we're happy to have you on board. If you're on Breakers TV with YouTuber Sportfee, welcome. If you're listening on 106.3, the sister station of CPR Rocks, happy to have you there as well. And then, of course, our watch party at Walk-Ons in D'Iberville. Hello to all our friends out there as well. And our producer at 106.3, Kyle, back in studio, making sure we can get on the air for you. Hello to Kyle back in Biloxi. As now the cars are beginning to move a little bit. One car got going a little quick, might have slipped a little bit. You can see the treads a little bit on the ice, so I would be really curious, as I was last night, to know if those little imprints are going to freeze and maybe create a little bit of a bumpy ride or affect how the puck slides, or maybe even when players are skating through it. Cole Crowder will take the ceremonial face-off. Gordon Whalen for the Topeka Scarecrows out there as well. Looks like things are just about set to get going. Thank you so much for your patience. We're happy to have you along with us right here on Breakers TV. Starting lines for the Breakers. It will be a similar unit to yesterday. They'll start with Yaroyev Dakamov over on the left wing, Caden Henry at center, Declan Conway over on the right. Cole Crowder and Frank Steinway make up the defensive pairing with Josh Rosenzweig in between the pipes. As for the Scarecrows, they counter with Daniel Brizgalov in between the pipes. On defense, Zach Papapetros and Gordon Whalen. TJ Sneath, Elijah Wilson, and Carter Thornton will make up the starting line. We've got about 8 more cards to get off the ice before we can drop the puck here. Once again, just a little bit tardy. Appreciate everybody's patience. As now it looks like the Jeeps are getting closer. Bear with us here. Josh Rosenzweig seems to be dialed in between the pipes. Looks like there's some t-shirt cannons coming out the top of some of these Jeeps as well. Just about 3 more, and then we'll get underway. Thanks so much for bearing with us here. As the school that sang the national anthem has filed up into the bleachers as well. Not a whole ton of people on the upper deck behind me. Actually, not a soul, but on the other side, it's looking to be about halfway full. And then the lower bowl is looking about 70% as it stands now. But I'm sure some more people still filing in as we're finally in the home stretch of these cars leaving the ice. A little bit of patriotism never hurts here in Topeka. As now the chant of "Drop That Puck" reigns over the speakers at the Stormontville Event Center. Okay, and now all the Jeeps are just about off. And it's time to play some hockey. Henry will take the opening face-off. Posing him looks to be TJ Sneath, gearing up to take the face-off. Caden Henry with some last-minute talking points for his D-man Frank Steinway. Breakers still searching for their first win in franchise history. Will it be here tonight, or will they have to wait for another opportunity when they return home on October 31st and November 1st against the Monroe Moccasins, who is a club that really gave them some trouble last weekend on the score sheet. But once again, we remind you, Josh Rosenzweig just needed to get some of the rust off. He seems ready to go. Now the officials circling to center ice. And it's time to play some hockey here in Topeka. Henry and Sneath. Center ice dot. Referees backing the wingers off a little bit. And here we go, underway at 7:24 CST. Breakers win the opening draw at Steinway. On over to Cole Crowder. Crowder quickly tried to get it to Yevdokimov. It goes the distance, and that's our first Mile High Daiquiri icing. Or excuse me, Ben & Jerry's at the Hard Rock Cafe icing. Mile High Daiquiri is for puck out of play. We haven't had one of those yet in our Republic Finance first period. Caden Henry and Sneath to do it again, this time in the Breakers' end. And it's won once again by Henry on the tie-up. Steinway flying around the apron of the cage, leaves it off for Declan Conway. Conway tried to get it back to Steinway, who taps it into the neutral zone. Gordon Whalen wraps it around the dasher in where it's received by Crowder. Crowder flips it back up off the dasher and back out into the Scarecrows' end. Blaisdell being harassed with some good speed by Caden Henry. Thornton, touch pass over to Sneath. Couldn't handle it. Crowder back over to Henry. He's got Yaro Yevdokimov with him, calling for the puck. Henry didn't see him. He'll fly around the goal. Takes a couple stick checks. Yevdokimov comes to try and help out his centerman, and instead it comes back to Vlad Pavlov. Pavlov taking a moment behind the safety of Rosenzweig to begin the breakout. Pavlov, quick pass on over to Ewan Morrison, who made his FPHL debut last night back in the lineup for the Breakers. Turnover to Koash here, and a nice play made by Dylan Infantino to break up the opportunity. Infantino and Lynn battling at the blue line. Here we go. Looks like Lynn has dropped the gloves. Infantino finally will get him off, but Lynn just jumps Infantino. And it looks like they're both going to go to the box, but if that's going to be the first fight on home ice in Topeka, Dylan Infantino pleading his case. He never shed the mitts. He definitely was pushing and shoving, but never engaged. Lynn kind of just jumped him, and Charlie Pence Jr. can't be pleased with that call. Of course, we did see something similar last Saturday against the Monroe Moccasins when Conway and Moskal went on it. Moskal never shed the gloves, but also was booked for fighting. So this is not a precedent that we haven't seen here in the FPHL, and Infantino definitely was engaging before the mitts eventually fell off of Lynn. As Infantino now being harassed by a couple Scarecrows fans behind him. He was a guy pretty fired up after last night. He does not like to lose. Lind and him sharing a few words in between the scorers table. Dalton Anderson back in the lineup for the Biloxi Breakers tonight. Papa Petros off the skate of Crowder. Hansen drops it on off to Crowder with a burst of speed up the near side. Cole Crowder flying and shoots. Rebound. Kicks free, and now the Scarecrow is able to chip it out of the zone. Anderson back in his own end. Banks it off the wall to his former Seawolves, now Breakers teammate Hansen. Crowder, D-to-D pass to Brandon Lucchese. Into the middle for Blake Keller, making up the Seawolves line here tonight. Keller forcing one on goal, sticking with it. Good persistence from Blake Keller, but eventually lose the puck as it comes back towards the near side. Anderson into the skates of Curtis Hansen, and now back the other way. Norwinski shoots, and a pad save made by Rosenzweig. Into the middle, Lucchese pops it out to the near side wall. Henry back below the end line will now come with a burst of speed through one defenseman. Now here he goes, Caden Henry. He can move. Shooting one, and that deflected on down by Papa Petros. Back to Conway. Conway's got time and space in the middle. And Yevdokimov just got a little handcuffed. Elijah Wilson back on over to the middle. Caden Henry with a nice hit to jar free Papa Petros. Blaisdell fanned on the shot attempt. Bank pass from Conway. Out for Henry once again. Henry, a long shift for him. And drops it back where it's turned over to Elijah Wilson. Wilson using his body to get around Conway. He had a goal last night to make it 4-1. Another goal! It's Gordon Whalen receiving the puck right between the circles. And he beats Rosenzweig, the southpaw, on the glove side, to give Topeka a 1-0 lead. And we're just 2 minutes and 57 seconds into this one. The Breakers already trail. Looked like the positioning might have been a little off for the Breakers that time, as Whalen, a defenseman, pulling right down Broadway in on Rosenzweig, who became a deer in the headlights as that shot was released. Vlad Pavlov on over to Lucchese. Brandon Lucchese, who's played for the River Sharks and the Thunder, tips over a man with a reverse hit. Now into the middle. Here's Avery Smith. He's a physical catalyst here tonight. Trey Fisher touches back up on side as the puck was headed in his direction. Blaisdell, D-to-D pass across. Gets it right back into the middle. Koash taps it in deep to the end wall. Rosenzweig rips it around the wall. Tried to be chopped out that time, but couldn't by Morrison. Back the other way. Here come the Breakers. Morrison shoots. It goes way up and over Brizgalov. Now Fisher turning one in the direction of the goal. Didn't get much on it. Out into the neutral zone now for Vlad Pavlov, native of Russia. Taking his time, sends it back into the middle for Lucas Pekarzik. Pekarzik will dump it in deep, and the Breakers will go out for a full change. Shots on goal are currently on the scoreboard as 2-0, but I believe the Breakers do have a couple of their own, as this one goes the distance for another Ben & Jerry's icing. The cowbells and the horns are blaring here early on in front of a home crowd who's already gotten to see somewhat of a fight and now a goal by their home team. Dalton Anderson will come out and take the faceoff. And what's really been the Breakers' kryptonite, it's not necessarily the hockey, as Steinway has that shot turned away. It's been slow starts in the first period and going behind early. They have not had a lead yet this season, and it's because they've been playing catch-up. This one in all the way deep. Blue Ridge, Virginia native Alex Norwinski throws it up the wall. Deflected on down. Crowder gets it in a touch deeper. Blake Keller tried to coil away from Papa Petros, but lost the puck in the process. Dalton Anderson slamming in his man. Quick shot from the point. Deflected down, still loose. And Keller couldn't uncork the shot. Back the other way, here's Topeka. Crowder running his man into the wall, trying to use his 6'5", 200-plus frame to create some momentum for his boys. Now back to Keller. Keller, backhand saucer pass for Yevdokimov. He'll try and burn the defender on the near side. Eventually, with the extra effort, is able to. Back in down low, Papa Petros picks his pocket. Conway turns one and just missed. Pavlov took a hit behind the play, lost his lumber, and now he'll head to the bench. Caden Henry back out the other way. Crowder had trouble controlling the bank pass off the wall. And it's wrapped on in by the Scarecrows. Rosenzweig reached to get it, couldn't. Comes back down into the corner off of Henry. Might have stung him a bit there. Thornton down low once again. Lucchese couldn't reel it in. Sneath on the near circle. Looking to center one for Wilson. It goes up and off the glass. 14:20 to go here, period one. Scores 1-0 Topeka. Breakers out shooting the Scarecrows 3-2 early on. As Conway trying to find an extra gear. Whalen wanted a call, and it looks like someone's going to go see who it is. As we head into our first media timeout, we'll come back with a Breakers power play on the other side. Back in a splash.
Recharge your body. Reset your mind. Revive your spirit. At Revive and Thrive, every detail is designed to elevate your recovery and well-being. Unwind in our serene salt therapy room and float suite. Awaken your senses with the benefits of cold water immersion. Then, step into a custom-built sauna featuring soft Himalayan salt lighting for athletes, adventurers, and anyone ready to unlock the power of recovery. Discover the difference at reviveandthrivems.com.
Coastal Prints is a brand new business on the coast specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items. Being local and with 30 plus years of experience, Coastal Prints carries all the hottest clothing brands and thousands of promotional items. Uniforms, workwear, hats, drinkware, coolers, tchotchkes, and much more. Coastal Prints will make your brand and logo stand out. Come see the new showroom on Seaway Road in Gulfport or visit coastalprints.com or call 228-COASTAL.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain.
And we're back just a bit early. As now down low, Breakers on the man advantage. Out to the point, it's Cole Crowder. Crowder, who scored last night. He's got 2 goals in as many games. Gets it back at the point, looking for a tip in front from Yevdokimov. Couldn't get it. Fisher, able to squeeze by Hugo Koch. Down low, Yaroslav Yevdokimov tried to get it back to Fisher. The puck pinballs out into the front and eventually is cleared into the neutral zone by Crowder. Crowder back over to Conway. Conway on over to Trey Fisher again. He's got a little room and eventually slings it over to the blue line area where Yevdokimov couldn't handle it. And it's sent the length once again. Rosenzweig will retrieve this one. Crowder begins the rush back the other way. Breaks the puck out to Yevdokimov. In across the blue line. Drop pass Fisher. Fisher shoots, and that one goes way up and into the netting. And with 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining on the Gordon Whalen minor for interference, we'll have another face-off set to come. Dylan Infantino and Connor Lynn released from the box. They'll head back to their respective benches after a brawl that seemed to be a little bit one-sided. Pekarzik trying to turn one on goal. Still free in front. Fishes it out of some skates. Now back on over to Hansen. Hansen back for Blake Keller. Keller, his pass didn't get through. Pekarzik picks it up. Pekarzik outside the circle, back at the point. Quick shot, broke his twig. Still loose in front. Another big save made by Brizgalov. Hansen gets new lumber from the equipment manager, Mikey Roy. Pekarzik back the other way, around the obstacle of the broken stick, avoids a hit from Wilson, who was looking to line him up. Hansen just inside the blue line, back to Pekarzik, lost a handle. Hansen again, good pass down low. Keller shoots, and he missed the net. Back out to the point. Another quick shot comes in, redirected in front, up and into the netting. And with 14 seconds to go of power play time, we'll have yet another face-off. Shots are 6-2 in favor of Biloxi. So they've had the pressure, but just haven't had those high-quality opportunities that Whalen found himself in. Crowder cutting down below the goal line. Takes it all the way around over to Steinway. Steinway, dangerous pass across the blue line. Now Crowder flips it on over to Caden Henry. Back skating ever so smoothly. Drops it off. Crowder shoots! And another big glove save on the one-timer by Brizgalov. .12:04 to go here, period one. The Scarecrows lead it by a goal in front of the home crowd once again. But the Breakers have had the pressures as we return to full strength on both sides here. Back on over to Steinway. Yevdokimov looking to get it back over to Crowder. Crowder swings it down low to Steinway once more. Up the wall goes to Yevdokimov. He gets pushed a bit, but makes the play out to Conway. One-on-one in on Norwinski. 44-on-44. Conway, the persistent effort, drew another call. And the Breakers will head right back to the man advantage. What a wonderful play, not giving up on the puck by Yaro Yevdokimov to find Conway. And Conway, who's so dangerous, been in the league for so long. Now on his 7th FPHL team, he's played for Mentor, he's played for Carolina, Motor City, Baton Rouge, Monroe, the Venom, and now the Biloxi Breakers. He was part of the return for Sam Turner, who was traded in a 3-team deal, ultimately winding up in the Monroe Moccasins uniform. Trey Fisher was the other part of that return, coming to Biloxi from PD. Alex Norwinski given a hooking minor. That leads to another Breakers power play. So they have all the momentum they need right now. Just got to find a way to find the back of the net early on. Here comes Keller. Backhanded saucer pass at the blue line for Anderson. Anderson with it, gives it on back, and now back down low once more. Out to the point for Hansen. Hansen in the quarterback position, finds Keller, back over to Hansen, top of the key, shoots right into a defender, able to stick with his own miss. Had his stick tied up, able to just nudge it free, but the Scarecrows send it back to the blue line. Kept in by Biloxi. Anderson shoved into the wall, able to fight it on out for Pekarzik. One-timer, Keller makes the save. Brizgalov. Xavier Charbonneau, who had a couple really good scoring opportunities last night but couldn't find the net, out there for the Breakers as well. Keller spins away from the defensive TJ Sneath with room across the one-timer. Pekarzik, what a save! And on the rebound, Anderson took an extra jab at Brizgalov, and Elijah Wilson wasn't a fan of that one. They'll now share some smiles. Xavier Charbonneau showing he's not afraid of Elijah Wilson, the decorated veteran. 10:21 to go here, period one, almost midway through. Robbie Nichols rocking the same outfit as last night in the black suit with the orange bow tie, pocket square, and cummerbund. Caden Henry on the face-off circle. 42 seconds to go on the Norwinski minor for hooking. Henry chasing Lind around the wall. Crowder knocks it in, but Lind spits it right back on out. This one will go all the way down. Conway and Lind wheel around the goal. Conway keeping it on his backhand. Lind tried to tune him up, loaded up for the check, but Conway moves out of the way. On over to Henry with Yevdokimov. Henry trying to toe drag release and had it jammed up. Shots 9-2 in favor of the Breakers. Here's Henry at the blue line. Tried to reverse a hit, lost the puck in the process. Back on over to Declan Conway. Conway up the wall for Crowder. Back the other way. Sent back on in. Gagnon to the skates of Henry, and the Scarecrows return to full strength. So the Breakers 0 for 2 on the power play. They have not scored an even strength goal this season. 2 power play goals last night, 1 to Crowder, 1 to Yevdokimov. Well, all 7 of the Breakers' tallies have come a man up. They need to find a way to play even strength hockey competitively. Nice hit by Crowder that time to nudge Checo off the puck. And now a whistle and interference call on Crowder. We'll take a break, step aside, and be back in a splash right here on Breakers TV.
When injury knocks you out, Bienvo Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
First Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill for the Breakers here tonight. Infantino ties it up with Sneath, looking for help from Pavlov. It's dug out by Checo out to the point. Papa Petros tiptoes the blue line on over to Wilson. Papa Petros, top of the key. Koch outside the near circle. Back across Wilson. Top of the key once more. Wilson outside the circle. Down low, Checo. Into the middle, looking at the bumper spot for Sneath, who was taken down. 8:40 to go here in period 1. And Rosenzweig gobbles that one up. Shots 9-3 in favor of Biloxi. Cole Crowder given an interference penalty for that check. Looked like the Scarecrows player had the puck. But he will be assessed. His first minor had 2 minors last night. Thought it was a double minor. It was actually a slash and then a high stick, which ended up being 4 minutes. Wilson down low. Here's Checo closing in. Nice dive block by Pavlov. Selling out with the body that time to reject the effort in front. Down to Inigos Pavlov. Checo below the end line. On over to Koch. Koch back up top for Papa Petros. On over to Wilson. Wilson shoots. Rosenzweig makes the save. Checo trying to go short side. And the Breakers able to sniff that out. Charbonneau sends it the length. 8 minutes to go here in the first period. Scarecrows on top, 1-0 here on Breakers TV. Shots 10-3 in favor of Biloxi. As now a turnover. Charbonneau trying to find an extra gear. He'll go one-on-one with Wilson and take a shot from the blue line. That's turned aside by Bernard. Wilson starting the rush, or rather, that's Papa Petros. Scott Koash, who buried the dagger into the Breakers last night to make it 5-2, joins the power play unit. 7.5 minutes to go in the first period. Koash. Over to Smith. Smith into a dangerous part of the corner boards. That area actually opened up last night inadvertently. In front, nice block down by Chandler Lynch. And the Breakers able to clear it back to the Scarecrows' end. They're back to full strength. That concludes the first Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill. Now Lucchese knocks it away to the near side wall. Here's Carter Thornton holding it. Thornton peeling in. It deflected off the defender and might have got right through Rosenzweig off goal. Now here's Conway. Conway serpentining through the middle. Pulls down into the corner, trying to get it to Henry. It comes all the way out to the point for Steinway. Steinway chips it in deep. Henry tried to center one for Yevdokimov out into the middle. Pavlov was a little too high. And now here come the Scarecrows once again. It's Gagnon. Rubbed off the puck into the wall by Pavlov. Steinway. He gets leveled into a dangerous part of the boards. Looks to be okay. Now breaking it out the other way. Here comes Biloxi. Yevdokimov cutting to the middle. Lost the puck in transition. And it's sent the length of the ice. Referees will wave off the icing as it looked like Steinway got a piece of it. Pavlov behind the goal. Lost possession. Getting harassed by Wolf. Conway pushed right off the puck. Into the neutral zone it comes. Breakers will change out some personnel. In on goal it comes again. Rosenzweig paddles it on down to Pavlov. Vlad Pavlov back on over to Caden Henry. Henry on a penalty? Delayed call. Breakers had possession of the puck for 3 seconds, but now they're going to go for high sticking, so it appears. 5:42 to go. Or maybe the puck was played with a high stick. No, Caden Henry is being assessed a minor for high sticking. And so the Breakers head back to the penalty kill. So each side has had 2-man advantage opportunity with the Scarecrows set to embark on their second in just a couple moments. Anderson and Sneath square off. Sneath wins it out to his winger. Tied up that time was Crowder with Koch, and he couldn't clear it out. Lucchese touches it down low again to Crowder. Crowder on the wall, pinning it, trying to kill some precious power play time for the Scarecrows. It spits free. Lucchese couldn't get it out of the blue line, but got it just in front. Now Checo, big power forward out there, loses possession. Lucchese couldn't win the race to the puck. It comes out to the point. Papa Petros in the circle. Quick shot. Sneath makes the bumper rip look easy, and Rosenzweig with a big save that time. 5 minutes to go here, period one. Here come the Scarecrows back the other way on the power play. Still a minute and 15 seconds to go. Fisher down low, able to sweep it along to Infantino. He'll accept the hit, but can't get it out of the zone. Koch on over to Wilson. Wilson in front, tipped in front. Rosenzweig using his flexibility to make the save. Another big shot comes in. Rosenzweig trying to make himself big. It flutters over and will almost be cleared out, knocked down at the blue line. And they're going to say a hand pass will be assessed here with 4.5 minutes to go. And we'll see if they're going to clock in our next media timeout right here. And it looks like we will keep it here in the midst of the power play for now. Scott Koash will take the draw against Xavier Charbonneau. It's tied up, and the Breakers come away with it. Steinway takes a couple seconds, and now will slap it down and around the wall. Back the other way. Morrison chips it back in deep. From behind the goal, here come the Scarecrows. It's going to be Gagnon with a burst of speed. Enters the zone, flips it in deep. Collected by Morrison. Swings it around the wall. And eventually sent on out. Here come the Scarecrows north to south. Couple more pushes here on the power play. Smith rubbed off the puck by Lucchese. Back around the wall. It comes out to the point. Whalen. Touch pass down low. Thornton. Koash around the circle. Thought about going to the high slot. Coils back to the circle once more. On over to Gagnon on the low angle. Looking to center one into the middle. Quick shot, and Rosenzweig holds the wall. Breakers are back to full strength. That concludes the penalty kill. 5-on-5 hockey once again. 1-0 Topeka in front. Here in game 2, or their second home game. Game 3 for the Breakers. Game 4 for the Scarecrows. Thornton had his pass blocked by Lucchese. It comes back over to the far side, where it'll be retrieved by Charbonneau. Into the middle it comes for Hansen. Hansen over the blue line. Drop pass Henry. Henry with room. Shoots. And Brizgalov will cover that one. And that will lead into our final media timeout here in period one. We will take it. Breakers putting on some pressure. We'll take a few moments and be back for the closing moments of period one.
Every new Hyundai from Matt Bowers comes with Matt's lifetime warranty included. That's in addition to Hyundai's America's Best Warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And Hyundai Owner Assurance. You get both warranties, making a new Hyundai from Matt Bowers an excellent value. Come test drive today at our new showroom in Gulfport, just off Lorraine Road, north of I-10.
Shop smart, buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
Breakers trying to even the odds before we head into our first intermission. 10 more seconds on the clock for the media timeout, and now we're set to drop the puck. It'll be Henry and I believe Corey Checo to take the draw out to the point. Breakers control the faceoff. It comes in through the middle, knocked down by Topeka, and now busted out of the zone into the skates of Yevdokimov. Back out to Crowder. Crowder saucers one up into the mitt of Henry. Gloves it down to himself and chips it in deep. Yevdokimov battling in the corner. Comes around to Lind. Lind into the neutral zone for Crowder. Crowder, hard pass off the wall to Conway. And then O'Reilly runs into him. O'Reilly's going to go for a late interference call. That was just an egregious hit way after the whistle, and he knew it. And so now he is going to head off to the box after taking a few more laps and making the officials chase him. So it's another power play for Biloxi. They're 0 for 2 on the evening. But Josh Rosenzweig could really use a goal from his club. Shots 12-8 in favor of Biloxi. Caden Henry will take the face-off. Henry around the goal, sticking with it. Out into the middle, here's Henry again, all the way around, shoots, and Brizgalov able to hang on to that one. It's roughing assessed to Quinn O'Reilly officially. Minute 49 to go on his minor. 2:19 on the game clock here in the first period with the Scarecrows up a goal. Henry squaring off with Sneak. Wins it out clean, but into that forbidden Bermuda Triangle spot that leaks out over the blue line, and the Breakers will have to re-enter the zone. Now Henry, self-pass to get it in deep, battling with Norwinski hard into the end wall. Now in the near corner, it will be sent back towards Rosenzweig, who will use the stick to drop it on off to Cole Crowder. Crowder over to Infantino. Hasn't gotten too many minutes after his fighting major, which, say what you want about it, not sure he did enough to earn a full 5 minutes. Into the middle. Knocked away by Conway. Infantino tried to touch it through his legs to Conway. Instead, inadvertently, it goes to Papa Petros. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage. Rosenzweig will sauce it into open ice, give it right back to Topeka. Lind. Tape-to-tape pass. And Topeka controlling the puck in their own zone, just bleeding out the rest of the Breakers' power play time. Rosenzweig around the wall. Sends it all the way around where Koash will feed it back to his D-man. 30 seconds to go of the Breaker man advantage. Dalton Anderson in the corner will now start things up for his group. dropping it on off for Hansen. Hansen on over to Pekarzik. Pekarzik darting through the middle. A couple defenders. Holds and shoots. And Brizgalov makes another big-time stop. Keller for Hansen. Hansen through traffic looking for a tip and might have hit the post. Curtis Hansen with the right idea and almost had it tipped home. Charbonneau was in front as well as now fresh out of the box. Here comes O'Reilly with the Scarecrows into the middle. Sneath shielding the puck with his body. Back across to the far point. In on Rosenzweig, and he makes the save. 18.5 ticks remaining here in period one. Shots are 13-8 in favor of Biloxi. There's been 5 power plays in the period, but not a single goal, which definitely would surprise you after what we saw last night. With a whole mess of power play goals. Puck is one out to the blue line. Gagnon able to hold it on in. Rosenzweig got tied up in the goal that time by Jakob Wolf. Steinway took a little exception to it. There's a water bottle down below the end line that could be an obstacle for a puck gliding around the circumference of the wall. As the final horn sounds, but not before Conway and O'Reilly collide one more time. Steinway with a couple more words for Wolf after running into Rosenzweig, and the Breakers, who trail 1-0, will go back to the drawing board and try and make some adjustments to get on the scoreboard. Out shooting Topeka 15-9, but they trail. We're going to take a quick break for our regularly scheduled advertisements, and when we return, we'll have assistant coach Brett Riley live in the booth to go over his thoughts from period one. Don't go anywhere. That and more on the Breakers' first intermission report when we return.
Strength isn't built in a single race. It's earned, mile after mile, pedal after pedal, step after step. The same endurance that drives athletes to the finish line fuels the steady hands and sharp focus required in surgery. It's about resilience, precision, and commitment in competition and in the operating room. Because true performance means showing up with excellence, no matter the arena.
Need an oil change but can't find the time? Matt Bowers Hyundai has free pickup and delivery for oil changes. If you live or work near Matt Bowers Hyundai in Gulfport, it doesn't get any easier. We'll come pick up your car at your home or business, leave you a loaner vehicle, change your oil, and give you a complimentary inspection. We'll even throw in a free car wash and bring your vehicle right back same day, zero hassle. Call now to schedule.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
Fly in for a daiquiri that scores every time. Mile High Daiquiris is an aviation-themed daiquiri shop and the official daiquiri of the Biloxi Breakers. Open 7 days a week and offering 15 refreshing flavors, jello shots, beer, and even a non-alcoholic daiquiri. They supply mobile daiquiris for weddings, birthday parties, and events. Only 4.6 miles west of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. Grab your crew and come try the best daiquiris on the Gulf Coast where flavor takes flight. Become a frequent flyer at 1107 Cohen Road, Suite B, Gulfport.
At Superior Optical Lab, we're proud to be certified as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and to provide quality eyewear to veterans to whom we all owe our freedom. Thank you for your service.
Recharge your body. Reset your mind. Revive your spirit. At Revive and Thrive, every detail is designed to elevate your recovery and well-being. Unwind in our serene salt therapy room and float suite. Awaken your senses with the benefits of cold water immersion. Then, step into a custom-built sauna featuring soft Himalayan salt lighting for athletes, adventurers, and anyone ready to unlock the power of recovery. Discover the difference at reviveandthrivems.com.
The Mississippi Gulf Coast is where community and teamwork come together, on and off the ice. Foshi Residential is proud to support the Biloxi Breakers as they bring the heat to the rink this season. Foshi Residential manages 3 unique apartment communities along the coast, each offering modern finishes, resort-style amenities, and a location that puts coastal living right at your doorstep. Ready to find your community? Visit foshiresidential.com/Biloxi Breakers for more information.
When injury knocks you out, Bienvo Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Coastal Prints is a brand new business on the coast specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items. Being local and with 30 plus years of experience, Coastal Prints carries all the hottest clothing brands and thousands of promotional items. Uniforms, workwear, hats, drinkware, coolers, tchotchkes, and much more. Coastal Prints will make your brand and logo stand out. Come see the new showroom on Seaway Road in Gulfport, or visit coastalprints.com or call 228-COASTAL.
Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Where players dash, the skates are flash, the home team trails behind. But they grab the puck and go bursting up and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a good old hockey game.
And we welcome you back into the broadcast booth. Devin Dobeck joined by Breakers assistant coach Brett Riley here from above the ice. Coach, just give us your initial thoughts on period one.
We came out real fast. I think we run into a little bit of a hot goalie. A lot better start than last night. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Out shooting the Scarecrows here in the first period, 15-9. You outshot them last night as well. Does it come down to quantity over quality, or rather quality over quantity, or what's been the issue? Has it been the goaltending?
I think we're running into a little bit of a hot goaltender. It's his first game ever. I do know that. But I think we just need to get some more traffic in front of the net and pray the rebounds.
We saw a whole flurry of penalties, starting with the Dylan Infantino fighting penalty against Connor Lynn. Did not shed the mitts. We saw something similar last weekend when Moskal and Conway went at it. They were both giving fighting majors. Only one dropped the gloves. What do you make of those calls? And kind of over on the bench, did you feel that it was justified?
I mean, it's part of the game. It's a tough call to be thrown at us. We just got to take what's thrown at us and just roll with the punches.
There's also been 5 power plays between the two sides, 3 for the Breakers, 2 for the Scarecrows. Not much has been done. We'll focus on the Breakers, especially that most recent one. Trouble controlling the puck. You saw the Scarecrows skate around with it in their own zone. What needs to be fixed on the power play in order to start establishing some zone time and creating some scoring opportunities?
Yeah, we just need to be talking out there a little bit more, much more discipline. These guys can't skate with us at this time. We have the legs, we got the speed. We just need to have better composure.
We saw Josh Rosenzweig in the pipes here tonight once again after being lifted from last weekend's game against Monroe. What have you made of his effort here early on, facing 9 shots, surrendering a goal?
He's dialed in. He's certainly locked in. He wants to win more than any of us in the locker room. He set the tone, and he's keeping us in this game.
So, Brett, we're going to have you come join us again here in period 2, but what are your keys to the second period to help the Breakers shift the momentum and maybe take a lead here?
We gotta still shoot the puck more. Like I said, we got to get more shots on the goalie with some traffic. They're gonna go in. It's just the way it is.
And one more question for you. How do you counter? You've seen Topeka, fueled by the crowd, try and be a more physical team. Throw some hits after the whistle, maybe get in front of creases, make Rosenzweig's life a little more difficult. How can your team match that physicality, or on the off chance, maybe draw a penalty from it? How can you kind of use the physical play to fuel you guys?
So we got the speed. So if these guys keep their legs moving, that's how we draw it, how we drew all their penalties. If we continue to keep our feet moving, we'll keep getting those penalties, and we have the better chance on the power play, I think, right now.
That's assistant coach Brett Riley joining me in the booth here. Brett, thanks so much for your time. We'll see you in period 2.
Thank you.
Back here in the broadcast booth, first intermission between the Scarecrows and the Breakers. Shots are 15-9 in favor of Biloxi. Huge shout out to Brett Riley for joining me here in the booth. We're hoping to make that definitely something that we do consistently enough. I'm not sure he'll be able to make the journey all the way up the Mississippi Coast Coliseum steps and back down in time once we're on home ice, but it would be great to have Brett on as much as possible, making his coaching debut this season under Charlie Pence Jr., and he's really gotten the boys in some great shape. You can see the conditioning out with the Breakers, how they skate, how they move their legs. All of that is tailored by Brett's training, focusing on each individual guy and what they need most as far as aspects of their game, what parts of their body they need to be worked on, what muscles need to be strengthened, and Brett has been awesome at getting all the guys in the gym and taking them through workouts. Check that out on his social media just to see what he's doing. Appreciate him and everything he's been doing for the boys here early on. But an interesting period one. Let's tell you a little more about it. So we have the Infantino fight with Connor Lind, of course. That was the first fight in front of the home crowd here in Topeka. And then, of course, the scoring open at 2:57, courtesy of Gordon Whalen with his first of the season from Elijah Wilson, beating Rosenzweig over the glove side to make it 1-0. We did not have any more goals the rest of the way, but we did have a handful of minor penalties, beginning with a Whalen interference, a Norwinski hook, then Cole Crowder for interference, Henry for high sticking, and finally Quinn O'Reilly for roughing at 17:30. So it looked like a lot of special teams hockey early on. The Breakers have struggled, well, not necessarily struggled, but haven't found ways to produce offense at even strength this season. And that is going to be the difference for them if they want to have a chance to climb back in and win this hockey game trailing 1-0. About 5 minutes remaining on our intermission clock here. So we'll take a quick break, watch our other training camp video, and be back right here on Breakers TV.
Some legends are told, some turn to dust or to gold, but you will remember me for centuries. Just one mistake is all it will take. We'll go down in history. Remember me for centuries. Remember me for centuries. Mama taught my teenage
Both teams have returned to the ice here. Thanks so much for tuning in wherever you're joining us from on Sporfy, YouTube, 106.3 FM, or at Walk-Ons. Happy to have you with us. Breakers and the Scarecrows separated by 1 goal. The lone goal scorer, Gordon Whalen. 5 power plays between the two sides in that opening 20, and no one able to either double the lead or even the odds. So we shall see what's in store here the rest of the way. Coming up around the 10-minute mark, we'll have a brief interview with Breakers injured defenseman Declan Flanagan on his thoughts on the game, as well as what it's been like wearing the Breaker crest and getting to be with the guys here early on. So we'll have him coming up in about 10 minutes right here on Breakers TV. PA guy rocking the same suit, firing up the crowd once again. Breakers will now go from left to right, the Scarecrows from right to left. As this one is on the far side wall. Now the Breakers with it in their own end. Pass up, goes all the way down. Conway got tipped over by Whalen. They actually both fell down. Sneath chops it out of the zone. Cole Crowder on over to Flanagan. Excuse me. And now it's Yevdokimov down low. Chipping it up into the mid of Carter Thornton. Here he comes, the former Watertown Wolf, playing against his former coach. Into Steinway's knees. Steinway playing catch with Cole Crowder. Now will take it behind his own goal. Conway was calling for it for a moment. Instead, he'll come out to help his former teammate and also current teammate, Steinway. Conway tried to split the circles. Lost it in the process, trying to make a move. Pekarzik at the blue line. Has Smith take it on away from him. Here come the Scarecrows. Koash looking to center for Smith. Smith from a low angle off the side of the apron of the cage of Rosenzweig. Lucchese, backhand pass into Henry. Coming out to play it is Brizgalov. Puck still free. And we get a whistle and a slash assessed this time. And it looks like Brandon Lucchese, or no, it will be Jacob Gagnon assessed with a slash, and the Breakers will head to their 4th man advantage of the evening. Second period brought to you by Aaron's. Shout out to our friends at Aaron's for all of their support of Breakers hockey. Caden Henry will take the face-off. Infantino out there as well, along with Yevdokimov, Crowder, and Declan Conway. Now it's Caden Henry back the other way. In the neutral zone, sends it to the middle for Crowder. Yevdokimov on over to Henry. Henry sends it back to Conway. Conway with room. Lost it in between his skates. Backhanded one towards the goal. Infantino collided with Brizgalov in the crease area. Yevdokimov back across the blue line. Over to Henry on his backhand, and he almost ran Brizgalov right over. Good job to avoid a big collision there. Inside 80 seconds to go on the Breaker man advantage. Crowder just keeps it inside the blue line. Over to Conway. Conway on goal. Save made. Yevdokimov gets it back to Infantino. In Gretzky's office. Here he comes back to the near side. Plays it instead far side for Caden Henry. Back for Infantino. Henry on the far circle. Infantino behind the goal. Henry back for Yevdokimov. Still free. Henry recollects the puck. Crowder. Conway. Shoots. Scores! Declan Conway on the power play. Evens it at 1-1. The Breakers get the first one here in period 2. A much-needed power play goal. Conway with so much room to shoot, and Brizgalov, who's been otherwise exceptional here tonight, just got beat under the glove. with a beautiful shot by number 44, his second of the season. So take another look at the replay. Just barely enough room for Conway to slide that one by. And the Breakers pot yet another, you guessed it, power play goal. Tied at 1 now. Breakers searching for their first win in franchise history. Blake Keller gets it in deep. Quinn O'Reilly now with it. Jakob Wolf into the offensive zone on his backhand. Sends one just behind Rosenzweig. Norwinski centering one that was knocked away by Lind. Lind runs Steinway into the wall, but Steinway with a good effort able to force it back out of the zone, and they will say no icing. 16:43 to go here, period 2. Tie hockey game at 1-1. It's the first time the Breakers have been tied other than 0-0 this season. They've also yet to have a lead. Trying to pick up their first one momentarily here. Blake Keller down below the wall. Trying to get it Pekarzik. Skipped through. Now it's Vlad Pavlov. On over to Morrison. Morrison jammed into the boards, shoved down by Avery Smith. A size mismatch that time as Keller will chip it on in and go out for a change. Morrison trying to win the race there against Lind. Lind slams him into the wall. Now here comes Hugo Koch into the neutral zone off the skates of Koash. And Rosenzweig will elect to cover that one as Crowder went hard into the crossbar, and now not happy with Koash as he shoves him a bit away from the paint. Just a couple clicks under 16 minutes to go. And once again, a few more conversations after the whistle. So both teams will change out their entire personnel. Crowd has certainly quieted down a little bit. You don't hear as many of the horns blaring. Bunch of youngsters are starting to get blue in the face with how much they've been utilizing those horns. They're tenacious. It's unbelievable. Making some noise. They're taking that very literally. Now down low, Morrison took a stick to the back of the head. In front, Yevdokimov finds Dalton Anderson on the doorstep, buries it to give the Breakers a 2-1 lead here. Dalton Anderson's first of the season was scratched last night, re-enters the lineup and makes his presence felt. It's 2-1 Breakers. Beautiful triangle tic-tac-toe passing play, and Anderson finishes it off. Momentum swinging in the favor of the visitors now. Just a nice feed out in front. Anderson with a little bit of a fist pump after that as well. You know he was looking for that one. Anderson with a career 60 goals, now 61. With that one there to give the Breakers a 2-1 advantage as it's another Ben & Jerry's icing. Now, if you're the Breakers, got to keep your foot on the gas pedal here. You've got to lead, but you know this Topeka team in front of their home crowd on their opening weekend is going to take everything up to the next level. Play physical hockey. Won by Topeka this time. Sent in front. Rosenzweig almost had to deal with a deflection that time. Crowder getting slapped a few times and now being shoved by Justin Schmidt, who wants a piece of Cole Crowder. First ice time we've really seen from Justin Schmidt here tonight. It's now out at the blue line. So you know that Coach Nichols is looking to try and get the crowd back into the game, sending his enforcer out on the ice. Schmidt with a nice hit over on the near side wall of Curtis Hansen. Inside 15 minutes to go here, period 1. Blake Keller starting the charge. Instead, he'll sauce it on in so his team can change. Gagnon on over to Koch. Here's Hugo Koch back the other way. Scarecrows looking for their 4th straight victory, but they've got work to do. Back out to Gagnon with room, shoots through traffic. Rosenzweig uses the radar and tracks it down. And now we've got an all-out pandemonium in front of the blue paint. Avery Smith went down hard. Henry was locked up with him. And that will bring us to our first media timeout. Everybody's going to take a couple breaths. We'll try and catch ours and be back in a splash right here on Breakers TV.
The Mississippi Gulf Coast is where community and teamwork come together, on and off the ice. Foshi Residential is proud to support the Biloxi Breakers as they bring the heat to the rink this season. Foshi Residential manages 3 unique apartment communities along the coast, each offering modern finishes, resort-style amenities, and a location that puts coastal living right at your doorstep. Ready to find your community? Visit foshiresidential.com/Biloxi Breakers for more information.
At Superior Optical Lab, we're proud to be certified as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and to provide quality eyewear to veterans to whom we all owe our freedom. Thank you for your service.
And we welcome you back here. 14:20 to go here, period 2. Breakers lead it 2-1. Joining us until our next media timeout will be Breakers defenseman Declan Flanagan. Flanny, welcome to the booth.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
So the Breakers leading it 2-1 now. My understanding is you gave the pregame lineup read and you lost your voice a little bit in the process, but got the boys going?
Yeah, I did. I mean, we needed to have a hot start tonight. That's been our issue the last couple of games. So I figured I'd go in there full force and get the boys going. I think it might have done the job so far, so let's hope it keeps up.
Steinway up to Conway, goes in and out of his mitt. Physicality picking up here. We saw a few moments ago Avery Smith colliding with Brandon Lucchese. Couple of physical catalysts. We'll keep an eye on those two. Lucchese tried to thread the needle on to Yevdokimov. Now Conway on the far corner runs into Smith. Smith controlling the puck, taking his time, breaks it out of the zone on over to Hugo Koch with room. Oh my goodness, Josh Rosenzweig with a big save. From his right to his left, hauls it in. Now takes that one up a little high. But the Breakers goaltenders look good here tonight. What have you made of Rosie's effort in his second start of the season thus far, Flanny?
I think he really came to play tonight. He had a lot to prove coming into this one, and he's been a brick wall tonight so far, and he's kept us in this game for sure.
Rosenzweig, arguably the biggest addition of the Breakers offseason. And you can tell that he's beginning to make his mark as one of the premier goaltenders once again in the FPHL here tonight. Still very early in the season, but he's looked sharp after that first start. Morrison on over to Pekarzik. Pekarzik touches it to his forehand, and now hard into the boards goes Infantino. He was wiped without the puck, and the Breakers are going to head back to the power play. Elijah Wilson pleading his case, but Infantino sacrificing the body hard into the wall. Glad to see he's back up and running quick, Flanny, but Breakers headed back to another power play.
Wow, the fans really didn't like that one, eh?
I mean, he wiped him out without the puck. You're going to get called for that just about 99 times out of 100 unless it's really behind the play.
Yeah, maybe get these fans a bit of a rule buff.
12 and a half minutes to go here, period 2. And it'll be the Breakers headed to their 5th power play of the evening. They're 1 for 4 thus far. They win the opening faceoff. Yevdokimov gets it back to Conway, who scored a power play goal earlier. Crowder shoots, tipped home, they score! It's Yaro Yevdokimov again! A deflection goal, and the Breakers have built their lead to 2. Something about this end of the ice has been kind to them as they surpass their goal total from last night in the first 8 minutes here in period 2. 3 goals in the opening 7:35. Brizgalov, who was fantastic in period 1, has now started to crumble a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was the message going into the second here. As a young goalie playing his first game, get to him early and often, and it looks like we're starting to crack him.
But you have Yevdokimov, who's has so much pro experience. To see him sitting in front of the blue paint, waiting for a deflection, all you got to do is find a place for it. Crowder with a beautiful shot that's tipped home. And the Breakers now in front 3-1. And you'd have to imagine Topeka is going to really start to throw some hits here. There's O'Reilly hard into the wall on Lucchese. Lucchese knotted up with O'Reilly, who tried to spin one back on goal. Lucchese funnels it out to Anderson. Finds Blake Keller. Keller trying to find a new gear up the wall. Takes the contact from Norwinski. Sends it in front. And took another big hit from O'Reilly that time. Lucchese overskated the puck, trying to chip it back in deep. Chandler Lynch instead will play it down low to Brizgalov, who settles it for Norwinski. He overskates it briefly. There's Hansen off the turnover in front. Anderson swing and a miss. Fisher now down low. He got hooked a little bit by Wilson, whose most recent penalty led to a Breakers power play goal. Shots are 20-14 in favor of Biloxi. 3 of their 5 in this period have found a home. Wilson with room shoots, and Rosenzweig there to take that one off the crest and make another big save. 11-10 remaining here, period 2. So Flanny, they're held scoreless in period 1. They get 3 early on here in period 2. Are you seeing any differences that have kind of led to the success in offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think we just came ready to go tonight. That was the one thing we've really been punching home the last few days, and just talked a lot about our power play and special teams. So it's good to see that starting to click early on in the season, because I think we all know in the Fed, special teams wins you games, right? So
I definitely agree with you there. There's a lot of penalties. Trey Fisher will go one-on-one against Lynn, holding it in the corner, flips it back to Pekarzik. Pekarzik back on over to Fisher, who touches it back to Pekarzik. Stapled off into the wall. Lind can't take it away. Pekarzik into the middle. Infantino catching the release, and it goes wide. Fisher fanned on the pass, but finds it to Pavlov. Pavlov loads up and fires. Pad save Brizgalov. Out at the blue line, Pavlov keeps it in, tiptoeing the blue line. Fisher blows an edge down in the corner. Infantino thought about lining up Lynn, the guy who he dropped the gloves with earlier. Out at the point, Pavlov keeps it in. Almost a tip in front. It was played with a high stick. Breakers aren't allowed to touch it, or else we'll have a face-off. And now Topeka will play it, and they'll blow the whistle anyway. Infantino with a bit of a smile that time. He's not sure about that one, trying to plead his case with the official. So, Flanny, give me from a player's perspective. Obviously, you try and talk to the official and plead your case. How often does that work?
I don't think it's ever worked for me, and I used to do it quite a bit. So I think I've learned my lesson on that. But, yeah, it doesn't work too often.
Sometimes I've heard some referees are very gracious, and they'll be like, you know what, I messed that one up. That's on me. And they own their mistakes. Not that there was any mistakes there, but it's just kind of funny seeing the players always just, waste their breath trying to get a ruling to change. And you know what? They're out of luck, as you said, Flanny. Out at the point. Quick shot. Lucchese, just barely hits the glass. That would have been delay of game. Henry tried to back him one in front. He goes down hard. A trip. Still free, and the Breakers are going to head to another power play. They're 6th of the game. They are 2 for 5 in the night. I mean, they just table-topped Caden Henry. Flanny will keep you here until we resume play after the media timeout, just so we can talk to you a little bit without the action going on. How's it been being around with the boys? You're one of the first ones to get to Biloxi. You just had training camp for 10 days in Lafayette. What do you make of this group that Charlie Pence has put together?
I mean, this is an unreal group of guys, and you guys have all seen the skill on the ice as well, but we're pretty much a family already at this point, which is great to see early on in the season. Everybody's really close, and we got a really good group of guys in this room, so I'm excited to see how far we can go this year.
Obviously, the season has started at 0-2, but what's your message to the fans who are all of a sudden panicking and thinking that this is another rendition of the Seawolves and that the sky is falling?
I mean, I don't think there should be any worry about that at all. If anybody tuned in tonight watching this game, they see the talent we have out on the ice. I mean, again, it is early in the season, so we still are ironing out some of the kinks, but no, we got an exciting group to watch for sure. We kind of have everything you could ask for in a hockey team, from skill to size to grinders to everything. So, I mean, I think we've built a pretty good squad down here, and I'm excited to see, again, how far we can go.
So, one more question for you before we let you go, Flanny. So, obviously, Topeka's a team that likes to fight. The Breakers haven't had too many majors unless tensions have really boiled over. with the 2-goal lead now, do you think that how will the Breakers counter Topeka picking up their physicality?
I think we just got to keep our heads in it, right? Stick up for your teammates, obviously, but don't get dragged in any of the extracurricular activities going on. So, yeah, I mean, if we keep our heads clean and keep working hard, I don't think we'll have any issues with it.
Flanny, thanks so much for joining me in the booth here, and hopefully we're wishing you a quick recovery, my man.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Good work.
Thanks, dude.
And we welcome you back here. Huge shout out to Breakers defenseman Declan Flanagan. Keller's one-timer whistles wide over the netting. And now back the other way. It's chipped back in by Pekarzik. Around the wall it comes on over to Keller. And now Wilson with speed up the wall. Still's got it. Tried to go short side and definitely had Rosenzweig beat, but missed the net. That would have been a shorthanded goal, which really would have hurt the Breakers, as now slow to get back in transition is Keller. Seems to be laboring a little bit. Anderson down low. Charbonneau takes it to the goal, and Brizgalov holds his post. Lucas Pekarzik outside the circle, down low. Anderson with it. Anderson back to Pekarzik. Pekarzik looking for a lane. Sends it through, and it's tipped wide. Hansen back for Pekarzik. Pekarzik shoots, and that one goes well wide. Charbonneau in Gretzky's office. Breaks the play out to the near side. Keller back to Charbonneau. Charbonneau. Keller. Keller. Cross ice. Pekarzik. Hansen's one-timer is gloved by Brizgalov. And we'll get another face-off here. 8:33 to go. Just about halfway home in Topeka. Next weekend, the Breakers will have one of their, if not their only off weekend of the season. We're really excited. On Sunday is our season ticket holder party at the Hard Rock Cafe. So looking forward to seeing all of the Breakers season ticket holders. It's going to be a big crowd. As I mentioned, a record number of at least 900 season ticket holders this season. So we're excited to meet and greet all of you. Thank you so much for your support of Breakers hockey. And we're so happy to have you along for the ride here this season, riding the wave. Conway sends it in deep. Gagnon tied up with Conway in the end wall. And Koash able to clear this one. Inside 30 seconds to go on the Gordon Whalen minor. Here's Dylan Infantino. Got plenty of room up the near side. He'll take it, slowing things down now. Pulls through the circle all the way around the goal. On his backhand gliding. Drops it on off to Henry, but it was snuffed out by Connor Lynn, who finds Hugo Koch, and now it's even numbers the other way, 2-on-2. This one goes well wide as it was just being dumped in. Koash tried to shield the puck a little bit, but the Breakers repossess. Topeka back to full strength. Here's Yaroyev Dakimov. Tried to center one, lost it in front. And now out at the point, kept in by Morrison. Sent back down low. Henry in the corner. Finds Conway. Conway shoots, tipped in front, and Yevdokimov tried to pirouette around and bury it home, but just got tied up. It has been all Breakers here in period two. The shots are 7-5 Biloxi, but it's felt like they've controlled all the zone, and largely in part to the amount of power play time they've had here in this frame. Under 7 minutes to go. And Topeka is quiet as church other than the youngsters still blaring their horns. That has been persistent. It's Trey Fisher with a good chance in tight. Almost found a home for it. Right on the back post. Charlie Pence Jr. on the top step behind the Breakers bench. Fisher walks in and shoots. Save made. Rebound. And Fisher had it juggle through his skates and out. Now here comes Carter Thornton. Steinway hooking him. Took him down hard. And now I believe we're going to have penalty shot. Should be a penalty shot. So they're telling the trainer that he's all right. O'Reilly waves him off. And we're going to have a penalty shot. Rosenzweig, who's one of the best one-on-one goaltenders in the FPHL, will have to keep this one away from Carter Thornton because this goal could turn all the momentum in the building. They only would trail by one with plenty of time left and get the crowd back into it in the closing moments of the second period. So Thornton will take it against Josh Rosenzweig here. First penalty shot we've seen this season. And if you're Steinway, it comes down to, would you rather the penalty shot or the chance he was having fast break? But Rosenzweig at least will be prepared for this one. And now it's going to come down to good on good. Former teammates in Watertown. Carter Thornton will now begin his rush as the whistle blares. Thornton slowly serpentining his way in on Rosenzweig. To his backhand, Rosenzweig! Oh my goodness! Did the full splits to make that save from his left to his right. A big stop from Rosie. And he keeps this a 2-goal game. And we heard Declan Flanagan talking about how Rosie's been locked in here tonight, and that's just a perfect example. One-on-one, a really good move from Carter Thornton, but Rosie slams the back door shut. Keeps this a 2-goal game. (3-1) Biloxi. As the referees skating in, Koash will be excused from the faceoff circle. Avery Smith comes in to take it against Anderson. Poked out to the point. Papa Petros, who's been quiet tonight, keeps it in. In the far corner, inside 6:20 to go here. Curtis Hansen. Saucer pass to the near side for Keller. He enters across the blue line. Backhanding one in front. It's kicked away by Brizgalov. Into the neutral zone. Pavlov has it carom off of his skates. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Spits back to Norwinski. Kicks it to his forehand and finds Koch. Koch lifts it way up and off the glass in the far corner. Keller blown up with an open ice hit that time by Alex Norwinski. A crowd comes to life for a moment here. 4 Scarecrows behind the end line. And now here they come with a breakout. Norwinski at his backhand saucer pass. Tied up. Now him and Conway. Battle of number 44 in front of the Breakers bench. Lucchese. 5:20 to go here, period 2. Stretch pass for Yevdokimov, protecting the puck in all alone. Brizgalov makes the save. No. Conway thought it went in for a moment, and now he's smiling, realizing maybe I got a little too excited there. Yevdokimov, we've seen make that move 3 or 4 times in the last 2 nights. He's yet to be rewarded on the backhand. But he's so smooth, and with his big frame, standing at 6'1", 187, he is so dangerous with the puck one-on-one. Henry, a face-off deke move, tried to step through the centerman in Wolf, or rather Checo. Now here comes O'Reilly. Backhand feed on over to Checo. Checo shoots. Pad save Rosenzweig. 5 minutes to go here. Second period. 3-1 Biloxi on top. Brandon Lucchese. Another quick shot comes in. Rosenzweig will cover, and now some pushing and shoving. O'Reilly getting into it, down with a couple breakers. Sticks are flying. Some jousting going on after the whistle. Net struggling to hold on to where it is. Rosenzweig trying to pull his own guys out of there. Referees in the midst of everything. And we'll see if there's going to be any penalties assessed. Rosenzweig grabbing Wolf, pulling him out. And I told you, Rosenzweig is not one who's going to be messed around his blue paint. As now Lucchese still tangled up with Koch. Conway having a conversation with the official along with Gordon Whalen. Rosenzweig trying to get off to the bench. It's a media timeout here, but there's going to be a lot to sort out. We'll take the media timeout and catch our breath. I would imagine there's some calls when we return. We'll be back in a splash.
When injury knocks you out, Bienvo Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
There's no way we got the old me first. I got it, man. Our single is so
4:51 to go. Looks like there's a couple penalties on the scoreboard so far. Corey Checo given 2 minutes for roughing. Brandon Lucchese is, I believe, serving a penalty. They've put number 4 on the board. I think they mean 34, Josh Rosenzweig. Shots are 25-16 in favor of Biloxi. So the referees continue to iron this out. It's going to skate 4-on-4. Robbie Nichols fired up all the way down from his step just in front of the bench, arguing with the officials, as you see on your screen there. He's pretty fired up. Very animated coach in his own right, but a legendary mustache. Coach Nichols, an NHL draft selection, a legend here in the Fed, as we've mentioned. And he's done a lot to make sure hockey here in Topeka is here to stay. Steinway in his skates. Rubbed off the puck with a strong effort by Wilson. Wilson gets chased out into the neutral zone. Right back in comes Sneath. Taken away quickly by Pavlov. And he'll take some time and skate around with the puck before feeding it to Pekarzik. Pekarzik dangling through a couple Scarecrows. Maybe an offside, so thought Wilson, but for now we play on. You have Dokimov. Lose it. Wilson back on over to Sneath. And now here come the Scarecrows, trailing by 2 the other way. Quick pass down low. 4-on-4 hockey, we remind you. Steinway. Cross ice pass to Pavlov. Pavlov banking it over, looking for Pekarzik. Rosenzweig holds it behind the goal. Wraps it around for Pekarzik once more. Now Cole Crowder. Crowder across the blue line to his backhand. Looking in front, tried to tuck it home. Conway gets the rebound. Loose puck, pinballs to Lynn. Hugo Koch. North to south, back the other way. 3:35 to go here, period 2. Saucer pass just out of the reach of Henry. In a front race with Lind. He'll lose it. Lind drops it on back for Koch. Koch turns it over to Conway just inside the blue line. Got Henry with him. Gives it to him. Henry out to the point. Crowder on goal. They score! Declan Conway on the doorstep. Throws a finger in front of his mouth to quiet the crowd and extend the Breakers' lead to 4-1. Oh, what a beautiful shot pass from Cole Crowder. He had me fooled, and Conway right on the doorstep buries it for his second of the night to make it 4-1, his third of the season. That's one thing that I will continue to mistake, is getting Conway and Flanagan mixed up because of the Declan. But that time it's Conway with his third of the season from Crowder. Crowder's got a few assists tonight. Charlie Pence Jr. not cracking a smile yet, knows there's plenty of time left. Charbonneau shoots, and Brizgalov, another big save. Wilson across to Norwinski. Scarecrows fans beginning to head to concession stand, disgusted with their team's effort, being outscored 4-0 here in the second period. It's an even strength goal for the Breakers, believe it or not. Has now knocked away. Charbonneau trying to find a new gear. Looked like he hesitated for a moment and instead couldn't create the breakaway for himself. As now some stick infractions, and Lucchese's going to go for a trip here. That's an easy call for the official to make here. 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. 2:32 to go, and it's Lucchese headed to the box. Topeka's has 7 shots here in the second to the Breakers 12. It's going to be another Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill. And it looks like both teams are going to skate to the bench. Might be our final media timeout, so we will take it and be back in a moment.
Fly in for a daiquiri that scores every time. Mile High Daiquiris is an aviation-themed daiquiri shop and the official daiquiri of the Biloxi Breakers. Open 7 days a week and offering 15 refreshing flavors, Jello shots, beer, and even a non-alcoholic daiquiri. They supply mobile daiquiris for weddings, birthday parties, and events. Only 4.6.
Apologies, we had our media timeout cut short. Anderson shorthanded, tried to force one on goal. Brizgalov makes a kick save. Gagnon through the Scarecrow at center ice, across the blue line, drops it for Thornton. Carter Thornton holding, finds Scott Koash. Koash scored last night. Whalen shoots, they score. Tipped home, and it's Avery Smith taking the celebration all the way out to center ice. It's 4-2. Just tough break that time. Headed to the shorthand. And Lucchese's penalty proves to be costly. As now the crowd back into the game. You hear them roar a little bit. 4-2, Avery Smith on the deflection goal. Pavlov over to Yevdokimov, closing in all alone. Shoots, save made Brizgalov. He tried to flip it high glove and looked like just didn't get enough on it. But Yevdokimov finds so much room in the right areas of the ice to create scoring opportunities. It's really a thing to marvel at. As face-off violation from Wilson. Wilson shifts over to the far side, and now everybody playing musical chairs on the face-off circle. Wilson is bumped out for Thornton. Face-off won by Henry. Yevdokimov tried a one-timer. Didn't get much on it. Might not even have had the space to get to the puck there. Conway. Pavlov now. On over to Henry. Henry, nice toe drag move. He's taken down by the leg of Papa Petros. No call from the official. It's now Thornton with a burst of speed. Crowder chases him down with a good effort, and Rosenzweig has to leap over Crowder. So now the referees are going to blow the play dead. Rosenzweig showing off the vertical that time as Thornton was coming at him like a bowling ball on a Friday night. And it looked like a good play, but then Crowder just got a little tangled up after he knocked it away. Maybe someone grabbed the stick. I am surprised there's no call there because it certainly had the visual of a penalty. So we'll have another draw coming. Steinway still playing even strength hockey. Hit hard by Avery Smith, but the puck able to leave the Breakers zone. Conway breaks it out to Keller. Or rather, that was Hansen. In front, Hansen tried to tip it home. Right place, right time for Hansen. Just couldn't get it on net. Steinway loses it for a moment. Lynn chips it up. Crowder there to retrieve it and banks it back out into the neutral zone. 60 seconds to go here, period one. 4-2's our score. Avery Smith drops it back to Koash. Koash closing in through the circle. Toe drag. Knocked away by Steinway. And Steinway will softly flip it the length, but no icing. Beautiful clear that time from Steinway so his guys can change. Charlie Penns providing some words of encouragement to Steinway over on the bench. Lynch coiling back in his own end, turns it right over. And luckily the Scarecrows had many guys delayed offside or else that could have been trouble. Lynch playing in just his third game as a member of the Breakers. As now in front, Infantino trying to force one on goal. And now a stretch pass won't go. 10 seconds to go, Rosenzweig knocks it down. Held by Pavlov, back on over before a hard hit was laid on Lynch. And now finally the horn sounds with the score. The Breakers 4, the Scarecrows 2. Well, well, well. The turntables, as Michael Scott would say. The Breakers in front now by a pair. 20 more minutes. Oh, wow, there's still some stuff going on down there, apparently. It looks like Rosenzweig having a few conversations with some Scarecrows. He is definitely someone who draws some attention and likes to stir the pot as they'll continue to bark. It looks like Blake Keller's in there as well. Still 20 more minutes of these two teams until we shift our focus to next weekend. But the Breakers starting to play some physical and good offensive hockey. We'll step aside. Brett Riley coming back to join us in a few short moments right here on Breakers TV.
Strength isn't built in a single race. It's earned, mile after mile, pedal after pedal, step after step. The same endurance that drives athletes to the finish line fuels the steady hands and sharp focus required in surgery. It's about resilience, precision, and commitment in competition and in the operating room. Because true performance means showing up with excellence, no matter the arena.
Need an oil change but can't find the time? Matt Bowers Hyundai has free pickup and delivery for oil changes. If you live or work near Matt Bowers Hyundai in Gulfport, it doesn't get any easier. We'll come pick up your car at your home or business, leave you a loaner vehicle, change your oil, and give you a complimentary inspection. We'll even throw in a free car wash and bring your vehicle right back same day, zero hassle. Call now to schedule.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
Fly in for a daiquiri that scores every time. Mile High Daiquiris is an aviation-themed daiquiri shop in the official daiquiri of the Biloxi Breakers. Open 7 days a week and offering 15 refreshing flavors, jello shots, beer, and even a non-alcoholic daiquiri. They supply mobile daiquiris for weddings, birthday parties, and events. Only 4.6 miles west of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. Grab your crew and come try the best daiquiris on the Gulf Coast where flavor takes flight. Become a frequent flyer at 1107 Cohen Road, Suite B, Gulfport.
At Superior Optical Lab, we're proud to be certified as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and to provide quality eyewear to veterans to whom we all owe our freedom. Thank you for your service.
Recharge your body. Reset your mind. Revive your spirit. At Revive and Thrive, every detail is designed to elevate your recovery and well-being. Unwind in our serene salt therapy room and float suite. Awaken your senses with the benefits of cold water immersion. Then, step into a custom-built sauna featuring soft Himalayan salt lighting for athletes, adventurers, and anyone ready to unlock the power of recovery. Discover the difference at reviveandthrivems.com.
The Mississippi Gulf Coast is where community and teamwork come together, on and off the ice. Foshi Residential is proud to support the Biloxi Breakers as they bring the heat to the rink this season. Foshi Residential manages 3 unique apartment communities along the coast, each offering modern finishes, resort-style amenities, and a location that puts coastal living right at your doorstep. Ready to find your community? Visit foshiresidential.com/Biloxi Breakers for more information.
When injury knocks you out, Bienvo Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Coastal Prints is a brand new business on the coast specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items. Being local and with 30 plus years of experience, Coastal Prints carries all the hottest clothing brands and thousands of promotional items. Uniforms, workwear, hats, drinkware, coolers, tchotchkes, and much more. Coastal Prints will make your brand and logo stand out. Come see the new showroom on Seaway Road in Gulfport, or visit coastalprints.com or call 228-COASTAL.
Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores, that's a good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Where players dash and skates a flash, the home team trails behind. But they grab the puck and go bursting up and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a good old hockey game.
Back here in the broadcast booth, Devin Dobek joined by Breakers assistant coach Brett Riley once again. Coach, a lot's changed since we last talked 20 minutes or so ago, or 20 minutes of gameplay, I should say. Breakers lead it 4-2 in the second intermission. Take us through your initial thoughts.
We did exactly what I mentioned last intermission. We got traffic in front of them. We got more shots. We just outplayed them 200 feet.
So you get your fourth power play early on in that second period. Declan Conway cruises on in, beats Brizgalov on the short side. So you tie that game at 1-1, and then you just continue to fire. It goes Anderson, Yevdokimov, Conway again. 4 straight goals in order. It seemed like the floodgates had opened. The offense really starting to click at the right time. Do you think that with Topeka's late goal here to make it 4-2. Where does the momentum lie?
No, I'm not worried about the momentum. They're still alive on the bench. That's just a minor setback, just a little bit of breakdown in the defensive zone coverage. We're not worried about it.
At the end of the period there, we saw Josh Rosenzweig get shoved by a Scarecrow, or maybe nudged, whatever you want to call it, shouldered. I didn't even see it, but you relayed what had happened to me. So the physicality picking up, but do you like to see that kind of fight and physicality from your team? There was a few scrums after the whistle, and then, of course, after the period there, it seems like these guys are starting to fight for one another and become a team.
Absolutely. That's something that coach loves to see when they stick up for each other. It brings them together. It just makes a more well-rounded team.
So I've alluded to the fact that you're obviously working with each of these guys, both individually and as a unit, to improve their strength or whatever aspects of their game need improvement as far as the physical side of things. So as an assistant coach, are you sort of taking inventory of what's going on, who's doing what, how people are moving, and then kind of implementing that into your plans? Is that something that you're actively doing during the game?
100%. Yep. Paying attention to their lateral movements, their first step stride, technically all the way up to their third foot stride, to see if we can get them feet moving a lot quicker and more powerful, so that we can get out of the gate a whole lot faster than their opponent.
Breakers are without one of their best defensemen tonight, Declan Flanagan, with an injury. How have they been able to fill the void of not having one of their best defensemen, and now with a lead at 4-2?
They've really picked it up. It definitely hurts that we don't have Declan in tonight, but they put it on their shoulders, and they're doing very well.
Breakers lead it 4-2. We got about 10 minutes until period 3 begins. Brett, any keys to the third period for the Breakers to pull off their first win in franchise history?
We got to be disciplined. We got to keep guys in front of us, keep shots, active sticks, and obviously keep our feet moving at all times.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for joining us once again. Breakers coming up for period 3 one more time in a few short moments. We'll take another quick break and be back right here on Breakers TV.
Need an oil change but can't find the time? Matt Bowers Hyundai has free pickup and delivery for oil changes. If you live or work near Matt Bowers Hyundai in Gulfport, it doesn't get any easier. We'll come pick up your car at your home or business, leave you a loaner vehicle, change your oil, and give you a complimentary inspection. We'll even throw in a free car wash and bring your vehicle right back same day, zero hassle. Call now to schedule.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
When injury knocks you out, Bienvo Orthopedic Specialists will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Bienville Orthopedic Specialists. We will get you back.
And we welcome you back into our second intermission report. We will have plenty more intermission content, new and fresh every week. We're having media day next week with the guys, and that's where we'll get to do a lot of sit-down questions and interviews and fun games and things that we can have in these intermissions to entertain you a bit further. But until we have media day, we're rolling with our ads. It's been nice. Brett Riley's been joining us in the booth and sharing his thoughts on the game. Pretty cool how everything he had mentioned in the first intermission sort of began to come to fruition in period two. The Breakers lead at 4-2. How did we get there? Well, it was Gordon Whalen opening the scoring at 2:57, even strength from Elijah Wilson. Then into the second period after an early penalty taken by Jacob Gagnon. The Breakers score on the power play courtesy of Declan Conway, beating a man short-handed, or on the short side, beating Brizgalov to make it 1-1 from Crowder and Henry. Then, less than 2 minutes later, Dalton Anderson finishing a perfect tic-tac-toe play from Yevdokimov and Morrison. Morrison receives his first professional point of his young career. Congrats to Ewan. 2-1 Breakers. Then back on the power play at 7:35. It's Yevdokimov tipping home a Crowder shot from just inside the blue line. Crowder picking up another assist there. Makes it 3-1. And then the Breakers weren't done. Less than 10 minutes after that, Declan Conway pots his second of the evening at even strength from Crowder and Henry to make it 4-1. Crowder, 3 assists in the hockey game thus far in a defensive role, flexed from being a forward. He's been exceptional tonight and a big reason the Breakers are at where they are here tonight. The Scarecrows would get one back a minute and 11 seconds later. Avery Smith, the power forward, scoring on a deflection from the shot from the point by Gordon Whalen to make it 4-2, and that's where we reside. The shots on goal, 29-20 in favor of the Breakers. So they had 15 in the first, 14 in the second. Topeka with 9 in the first, 11 in the second. 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go here, period two. Don't Stop Believin' is going on right now inside Landon Arena with the lights again. Fans certainly getting into it. What a cool experience it is to be at a Scarecrows game. But wait till people see what Breaker Bay is going to be like in just a couple short weeks. If you haven't had a chance to get your tickets, we suggest you do that now. October 21st is the last day for season ticket sales. That's coming up pretty quick. You're running out of time. You got 3 more days to lock in your seat for the 25-26 campaign and be a part of Breaker Nation. Join an already record-breaking group of individuals, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have our season ticket holder pickup party October 26th. That's next Sunday on one of the Breakers' only off seasons. That will be at the Hard Rock Cafe in Biloxi. Excited to meet and greet with all the fans. The players will be there. So if you want to have a chance to meet the whole team, grab your season tickets now. And the rest of you, we're excited to have your support and see you there. October 22nd is when individual game tickets go on sale. So if you're visiting or you're a parent of one of these guys, and you're looking to just come out to a couple games or make a nice little vacation out of it, we're happy to have you. October 22nd, box office tickets will go on sale for single games of the Breakers. They've got 28 home games along with 11 specialty jersey nights. So a lot of fun happenings going on around Breaker Bay. Can't wait to have everybody in there. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the final chapter of the Scarecrows and the Breakers this weekend.
Recharge your body. Reset your mind. Revive your spirit. At Revive and Thrive, every detail is designed to elevate your recovery and well-being. Unwind in our serene salt therapy room and float suite. Awaken your senses with the benefits of cold water immersion. Then, step into a custom-built sauna featuring soft Himalayan salt lighting for athletes, adventurers, and anyone ready to unlock the power of recovery. Discover the difference at reviveandthrivems.com.
Coastal Prints is a brand new business on the coast specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items. Being local and with 30 plus years of experience, Coastal Prints carries all the hottest clothing brands and thousands of promotional items. Uniforms, workwear, hats, drinkware, coolers, tchotchkes, and much more. Coastal Prints will make your brand and logo stand out. Come see the new showroom on Seaway Road in Gulfport or visit coastalprints.com or call 228-COASTAL.
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
That just about concludes our Coastal Prince second intermission. Shout out to our friends at Coastal Prince for all of their support. The Breakers take the ice once again, 20 minutes away from their first win in franchise history. We mentioned some pushing and shoving at the end of period 2 that involved Rosenzweig and a couple Scarecrows, so we'll monitor all those happenings here in period 3. But what a hockey game we've had thus far. A little bit of everything, a little bit of physicality, a lot of scoring, and a lot of undisciplined play. But it's been a fun one, and we got the final of 6 chapters to bring you here momentarily, and what's been an unbelievable opening weekend for the Scarecrows. So here we go. Puck is dropped once more, and we're back underway here in the period 3. My name's Devin Dobek, along with you, wherever you're joining us from. It's 4-3. Carter Thornton, 8 seconds into the third period, makes it a 4-3 game. Before the Breakers could even get back into position, Thornton with a burst of speed beats Rosenzweig, and it's 4-3 all of a sudden. If you're joining us on Breakers TV, Sportfy, YouTube, 106.3, or at Walk-Ons, welcome. Happy to have you spending your Saturday night with us here on Breakers TV. We got a good one. It's 4-3. It was just 4-2, but 8 seconds into the third, the Breakers' 2-goal lead has become 1. And we remind you, they were up 4-1 at one point. So Topeka with the last 2 goals knocked down in the neutral zone. Gordon Whalen picks up another assist and now a delayed call. Are they going to get Ewan Morrison? For what? So now the Breakers are going to head shorthanded once more. And all of a sudden, what was not a comfortable, but a good 2-goal lead has become a 1-goal lead, now heading shorthanded, and we're just 26 seconds into the frame. It's another Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill. Wilson outside the circle, out to the point. Touch pass on over to Koch. Koch, it's down low for Checo. Checo back out to the point. Papa Petros on over to Wilson. Down for Checo. Corey Checo harassed by the stick of Lucchese. Lucchese trying to run into him. Koch holds. Back down low at Sneak. Takes a slash from Lucchese. Gives it back over to Koch. On the near side, circle. Koch back into the middle. Sneak Did not get as much as he wanted on that shot. Nice hit by Trey Fisher that time. Puck shoots free. Charbonneau now with a burst of speed. He's in all alone. Charbonneau walks in, got hooked a little bit, still able to fight it on goal. The goal light went on, but it was on the back of the netting. Almost a shorthanded goal for Xavier Charbonneau. He's found himself in a lot of good scoring areas, but has yet to bury his first career goal. That would have been just what the doctor ordered if you were the Breakers. A shorthanded tally, good individual effort from Xavier Charbonneau, but the back check just too strong. Almost had a chance to recover. Charbonneau is a guy with plenty of skill. He's just got to build his confidence playing at the professional level. Coming out of the GMHL with Tottenham, where he was the guy, having about 2 points a game there, now playing with the pros. But once he gets that confidence up, he's going to be a real weapon for Charlie Penn's group. Gagnon turns one on goal, turned aside by Rosenzweig. Shots 30-22 in favor of Topeka. Back the other way. Pass for Gagnon. One-timer. Turned aside. Loose in front. Steinway got tipped over with a hard hit in the honey hole area. And now it comes all the way back. Infantino hit hard by Smith as well. So Topeka definitely starting to make these Breaker bodies hurt a little bit. Breakers are back to full strength. They kill off the Raven and Rose tattoo. Penalty kill numbers the other way. Morrison shoots on the run, and Brizgalov makes the save, the rebound. And that one shoots back out towards the blue line. On the near side. It's fished out by the Scarecrows. About 3 minutes gone by here, period 3. Score is 4-3 in favor of Biloxi. Looking for their first win in franchise history tonight. Topeka looking for back-to-back sweeps, and this one on home ice. Conway knocks it down in the neutral zone, trying to fight it back to Keller, who overskated it. Avery Smith loses it. Here comes Declan Conway. He's got 2. Drops it for Keller, who shoots. Pad save made by Brizgalov. Back out into the neutral zone. Pavlov steps up to chip the puck back in, and Topeka will have to reset. Wilson fights it down low. Rosenzweig goes around the wall. Wilson knocks it down in his skates. Henry forces it not out, but up. Now Conway back with it. Yevdokimov along with him. Sets a pick. Gives it off to Henry. Henry flying around Blaisdell, and he'll continue to hold and glide. Back down low in the corner. It's turned over to Connor Lynn. Lynn back the other way. He gets tipped over with a nice hit by Cole Crowder. Fans wanted a call. They won't get it. Henry over to Conway. Conway was looking back for Yevdokimov, but he had been skating too fast. Saucer pass gets through Crowder. Sneath on the near side sends one in on the pads of Rosenzweig. Henry collides with Thornton. Thornton regains his balance, stapled into the wall by Steinway. Frank Steinway, 5'11", 180 out of McKinney, Texas, 23 years old, as now it looks like the Breakers are going to go once again. They're going to get the big guy, Cole Crowder. Sometimes he's just a victim of his own size. Might have been a bit of a dive there, but Lynn with some words for Crowder as he'll head back to the box. And it's going to be another Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill here. 15:36 to go in the third period. Breakers up a goal. Dalton Anderson, Brandon Lucchese, Dylan Infantino, and Vlad Pavlov make up the kill unit. Pavlov tries to force it out immediately. It gets to the blue line, but not out. Nice keep that time by the Topeka defense. Anderson chips it up the wall, maybe a 2-on-1 the other way for Biloxi. Gives it off to Infantino. He's got Anderson with him. Infantino looking in front of Anderson. On goal, tried to tap it home shorthanded. And Brizgalov makes another pair of impressive saves. Now Anderson getting popped by Avery Smith, and the referees will get involved there and separate the two of them. Really nice play by Dalton Anderson. I'll tell you what, he was scratched last night, but here tonight, he has certainly made an impact. Obviously has scored and created a 2-on-1 there and almost had another one. Good breakout from him and Infantino. Next penalty kill unit will head out there. It's Charbonneau, Fisher, Pavlov, and Lucchese. Fisher will take the faceoff, ties it up, and the puck goes in deep. Here come the Scarecrows. It's Elijah Wilson in across the blue line. Wraps it on around where it's held by Blaisdell. Hard pass out to Papapetros. Papapetros back across for Sneath. Wilson with room shoots. Shot blocked down by Pavlov. A really much needed block against a dangerous goal scorer in Wilson. He's got it on back. Around the goal he goes. Gliding, keeping it on his forehand. Back down low, Checo. Checo, Wilson. Wilson shoots. And that one wide on the far side. Charbonneau picking it back up again. Getting harassed by Koch. Rubs him off into the wall. Then Charbonneau gets spun down. Delayed call coming. And this one should be against Topeka. Rosenzweig had left his cage thinking that. Now a couple punches thrown by Papapetros. Wisely so. Charbonneau is going to skate out of there. He might have just bought another couple minutes. Right in front of the Scarecrows owner, Don Lewis, down in the corner on the glass. And it looks like now we're going to skate 4-on-4. Hugo Koch heads to the box. (32-23), the shots in favor of the visiting Breakers. It's immediate timeout right now. And we will take it. We'll be back in a splash.
Strength isn't built in a single race. It's earned, mile after mile, pedal after pedal, step after step. The same endurance that drives athletes to the finish line fuels the steady hands and sharp focus required in surgery. It's about resilience, precision, and commitment in competition and in the operating room. Because true performance means showing up.
Back here. 14:20 to go here, period 3. It's going to be another 40 seconds of 4-on-4 before the Breakers head to the power play. For a minute and 15 seconds or so, Keller down low, can't win the battle. Is now staying onside is Thornton. He walks in, trying to go short side on Rosenzweig. It comes all the way out to the neutral zone. Keller, touch pass for Lucas Pekarzik. Pekarzik 1-on-3. Banks it around the wall to open space, looking for some help from the forecheck. Instead, here comes Blaisdell. Koash gliding past Pavlov. Koash shoots. Save made by Rosenzweig. Looked to be a little awkward that time. As now puck on edge, rolling back out towards the blue line. Crowder's back in. So the Breakers are back on the power play. Conway. Slowing things down. This next goal is so important. It'll either tie the game or give the Breakers a bit of a buffer. Staying onside. Henry with it now. Holding on the near side wall. Drop pass to Crowder. Crowder inside the blue line. Shoots through traffic for a tip. They score! It's Yevdokimov again! Cole Crowder picks up his 4th assist of the night, and similar to the 3rd goal, it's a shot from the point, tipped home by Yevdokimov, and on the power play, once again, the Breakers strike. It's 5-3. Well, that's got to fire you up. A much-needed goal, because it was 4-1, and all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye here in period 3, it was 4-3 after being 4-2 at the intermission, and then finally another beautiful deflection from Yevdokimov, and he's got his 3rd of the season. and an all-important goal to boost the lead to 2. Fisher wins the face-off that time. Crowder, cross-ice pass for Morrison. Morrison looking to get it back to Charbonneau. He tries to throw a hit in on Checo. Crowder spinning away from the pressure of Lynn down low, or rather Wolf. Papapetros on across to Norwinski. Norwinski around the dasher. Papapetros on goal, tipped and steered out by Steinway. Delayed call coming against the Scarecrows. Still no touch has been given. Rosenzweig off to the box as now O'Reilly throwing a few cross checks at Fisher. Fisher will grab a hold of him, and now we shall see. Still a delayed call coming. Fisher and O'Reilly mouthing with each other behind the play. Shot from Crowder, turned aside by Brizgalov. Now Topeka officially touches, and they will be headed back a man down. I tell you what, this Topeka team takes a lot of penalty minutes. It definitely can't be easy when you're always playing shorthanded. And Coach Robbie Nichols has often talked about having a physical identity, but when you're in the box for what seems like the entire game, it's hard to start to mount any momentum. It's Jakob Wolf, who's a guy no stranger to the sin bin, sitting down there. And now the Scarecrows get it back out to the point. Conway down for Infantino. Out to the point again. It's Conway. Back across for Crowder. Crowder over to Infantino in the far corner. Infantino out above the circle. Back down low for Yevdokimov. And Infantino misplayed it off the stick. It goes into the neutral zone where Crowder will settle it. Pass over to the near side for Conway. Conway will begin the breakout back the other way. Finds Caden Henry. Henry across the blue line over to Infantino. Back for Henry, and it went through him. And now Hugo Koch will take the liberty of clearing it the length. Shots 34-20 in favor of Biloxi. They've nearly doubled the total of the Scarecrows, but still just a 2-goal game. There's Henry gliding through center, almost collided with Charbonneau. Here he goes all the way to the goal. Around and around we go. Back out to Crowder. On over for Conway. Conway shoots, tipped in front. Charbonneau with it now, below the goal again. Back out to the point. Here's Crowder. Crowder looking for another tip in front from Keller. And there's a hard hit on Xavier Charbonneau, hard into the wall. And he's back up and moving. Another shot pass in front by Crowder. Skitters all the way to the point again. Henry. Backhand saucer to Crowder, who lets it fly loose in front. Nobody knows where it is. And finally, it's dug out by a couple Scarecrows. They'll hold it on the wall here. 10.5 minutes ago, Henry darting towards the goal. Lost the puck trying to make a net drive, and now it comes back out to neutral ice. Wow, hold on to your hats. Crowder, couple shimmy shakes. Backhand saucer into the skates of Anderson. He'll nestle it on down. Backhander for Keller. Tipped in front. And now it's a breaker going hard into the goalie. That was Hansen. No response from the Scarecrows that time. Bernard didn't seem to really mind it. Inadvertent contact from Hansen. Pavlov, bank pass for Lucchese. Lucchese just surprises him. Rebound by Hansen, and Brizgalov holds on to that one. 9:51 to go. It's our next media timeout. We'll take it. Breakers and the Scarecrows putting on a show here in Game 3 of the regular season. Back in a few short moments on Breakers TV.
It's time for the
Need an oil change but can't find the time? Matt Bowers Hyundai has free pickup and delivery for oil changes. If you live or work near Matt Bowers Hyundai in Gulfport, it doesn't get any easier. We'll come pick up your car at your home or business, leave you a loaner vehicle, change your oil, and give you a complimentary inspection. We'll even throw in a free car wash and bring your vehicle right back same day, zero hassle. Call now to schedule.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers Hyundai, Gulfport.
Ben & Jerry's is serving up true ice cream euphoria inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Biloxi. You're sure to find your new favorite among more than 34 flavors. Let us scoop yours in one of our freshly baked waffle cones. Ben & Jerry's at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Biloxi, where euphoria awaits.
9:51 to go here. Period 3. Breakers lead it 5-3. Devin Dobek along with you wherever you're joining us. YouTube, Sportfy 106.3 or Walk-Ons. Happy to have you taking in Breakers hockey on a Saturday night in the Midwest for us, but down for you, maybe the Gulf Coast, as a chip pass ahead for Hansen, trying to find a new gear. He controls it below the end line. Takes a hit from Norwinski. Puck squirts free, where it'll be retained by Anderson, and that will be an offside as Hansen had to touch up on the pass from Pavlov. Fun night of hockey we've had. A lot of penalty minutes, though. We'll have to go through the sheet in our post-game show, but we have had a lot of penalty minutes. Anderson. Back on over to Pavlov. And now it's Lind. Lind shooting one, and Rosenzweig hangs onto it. O'Reilly just outside the crease. Will be escorted out by Pavlov, and we'll get ready for another face-off. 9:13 to go here. Scarecrows certainly look pretty on brand with the black and orange look. Have not seen much of Jacob Gagnon throughout the hockey game here. He's been held off the ice by Robbie Nichols for quite some time. At least by my estimate, but I have not called his name too many times here tonight. Steinway. Wilson. Jawing with Ewan Morrison. Wilson gets it on back. Morrison thought about closing him out. The shot goes awry. Charbonneau getting closed off into the wall. He'll try and skate on by after chop and chase and then run his man into the wall. Charbonneau looks a little more comfortable, and he's getting rewarded with more minutes by Charlie Pens. Quick shift there for that group, and now the Fisher line comes on. The energy line. Fisher's out there with Conway, and you have Dakimov, so maybe a little bit of juggling, if you will, from Charlie Pens. Fisher slams himself into the boards. Now it's Conway. Back the other way. Backhand feed over to the far side. It's picked up by Lucchese. Lucchese, saucer pass on the tape of Yevdokimov, settled real nicely to Declan Conway. He's got two tonight. Takes a hit and goes down hard. He was pulled down, actually. There's Jacob Gagnon. Back on the ice for the Scarecrows. Inside 8 minutes to go. Shots 37-25 Breakers. Pass is broken up by Henry. Couldn't fish it back into the offensive zone. Conway thought the puck went out of play. Lucchese chips it back for Yevdokimov. Back below the goal. Here it comes around to Declan Conway. Couldn't find Pavlov. Now with room. Toe drag move went awry for Checo. One-on-one. Caden Henry backing in on Lind. Goes to his backhand, and Lind able to force him off the angle. Then a nice hit on the near wall by Ewan Morrison. And now in front, quick chance, they score! Caden Henry again finds the loose change on the doorstep and buries it. After a great effort from Ewan Morrison, hard on the wall, Henry goes down the line backwards. Breakers 6, Scarecrows 3, and they're beginning to run away with this one on the road. The fans beginning to head for the exits, or at least those with little faith left. Breakers offense is a force to be reckoned with. Henry taking it hard to the goal and is able to lift it over the pad of Brizgalov, but it all started with the effort from Morrison on the wall. Crowder on over to Anderson. Chips it in. Credit the goal unassisted to Henry, as the PA announcer just said. 3-goal game. Here comes Koash. Drop pass on over. Quick shot. And that one goes up and into the netting. As now Avery Smith and Curtis Hansen getting tied up a little bit. It's been a fun night of hockey. Anderson out there with the Seawolves line to take the face-off. Keller can't poke it out of the zone. Back down low. Keller forced into the wall by Blaisdell. Pavlov Bumps it by his man. Now gets it over to Keller. Back for Pavlov. Even numbers up ice. Good effort from Pavlov on the bank pass. Hansen tries to center. Pavlov, the first one there. Peeling back down low. Big collision into the glass. Now Avery Smith will shoot one into the far corner. Picked up by Hugo Koch. Koch back over to the near side for Lind. 6.5 to go here. Down Broadway. Here's a quick shot. Save made by Rosenzweig. Chandler Lynch will flip it in and go off for a change. Horns are relentless. They will not stop blaring those horns no matter what the score is. I respect the effort. Infantino inadvertently chips it to Charbonneau. Thornton into the skates of a man. Trey Fisher levels Carter Thornton, and now he's going to go for boarding. Thornton went down pretty easily there, and Fisher letting him know that was a bit soft as he skates off, and the Breakers headed back to a Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill. Trey Fisher, he's going to have a nameplate in the penalty box at some point this season. Just such an aggressive player, and sometimes when you're over-aggressive, it hurts you. Looked to be a good clean hit that time, but instead he'll be booked. See what the official ruling is momentarily. They gave him a trip. So I guess he tripped him. It wasn't as much body as I had thought. As Brizgalov tried to quickly get it out. Charbonneau in front, having a quick conversation with a Scarecrow, and now they'll be separated by the officials. 5:33 to go here in the third period. Breakers lead it by 3. Anderson sent to take the draw, and he wins it, but not strong enough. Crowder steps down to try and help, able to punch it in deep as Smith goes down. Now here come the Scarecrows. Gagnon picks up his own turnover once more. Coiling back down low. Pavlov knocks it free. It would have been a 3-on-1 had he not chipped it out of the zone. Of course, the Breakers are shorthanded, so you don't want to roll the dice there. Back over to the near side. Held onto by Whalen. Back across. Koash holding above the circle on the far side. Looking for options. Over to Thornton on the wing. Shoots. And that one goes by everything. Into the neutral zone once more it goes. Carter Thornton dropping one on back. 4.5 minutes to go here in the third period. Checo bumped into by Steinway. Completes the play. Wilson gets shoved down, and he can't even get a shot away. Really good defensive effort by Steinway that time. Quick shot on goal by Morrison. A pass off the pad, but Charbonneau was just a little bit out of sync. Now back the other way. Quick shot. Rosenzweig with a big save. Papa Petros was hit hard by Crowder. Couple more seconds remaining on the Fisher minor for tripping. And the Breakers are set to head back to full strength. Here comes Sneath, or rather Koch, right back into the zone. Koch, saucer pass into the skates of Blake Keller. Turns it over to Wilson. Wilson has it poked away by Keller once more. Given back to Koch. One-time attempt from Papa Petros. Blew up on him. Keller back around the wall to Curtis Hansen. Hansen, spin pass for Fisher. Fisher hit high in the head by Papa Petros, grabbing his mouth. And we talked about Cole Crowder being a victim of his size. Sometimes Trey Fisher is for the opposite reason. He's just right in elbow range as this one goes up and over into the seats. Justin Schmidt had just gotten out on the ice. Not sure if this will be a delay of game. It looks like maybe it caught a piece of the glass. Rosenzweig taking a glance up at the clock, shaking his head. And it's our final media timeout. We'll take it and be back in a few moments.
The Mississippi Gulf Coast is where community and teamwork come together, on and off the ice. Foshi Residential is proud to support the Biloxi Breakers as they bring the heat to the rink this season. Foshi Residential manages 3 unique apartment communities along the coast, each offering modern finishes, resort-style amenities, and a location that puts coastal living right at your doorstep. Ready to find your community? Visit foshiresidential.com/Biloxi Breakers for more information.
At Superior Optical Lab, we're proud to be certified as a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and to provide quality eyewear to veterans to whom we all owe our freedom. Thank you for your service.
.309 remaining. Infantino will take it against Sneap. Charbonneau has it go out to the point. Quick shot, save made by Rosenzweig. So it was a delay of game assessed to Blake Keller. So it's another Raven and Rose tattoo penalty kill. Tied up with the stick that time was Cole Crowder, and he's able to muscle it out of the zone. 2:45 to go. Goalie is pulled for the Scarecrows, so they're skating 6-on-4, trying to chase 3. Chase 3 with a dream. As slowing things down, Koch gets it back out to the point, and now another penalty coming against the Breakers as Smith goes down. Pavlov trying to clear out some room. It goes up into the netting, and now we're going to go 6-on-3. Things starting to get a little more interesting than they should be. So Infantino, the guilty party this time. He'll join Keller in the box. And Topeka has got a chance to try and climb back in, or at least make it close. Breakers are going to be shorthanded virtually the rest of the game, barring another 25 seconds, and it looks like we have a timeout. Maybe Topeka exercising a timeout to draw something up. Robbie Nichols over with his unit, talking things over. Well, thanks so much to everybody who's tuned in throughout the weekend. Games 2 and 3 here in Topeka. As we mentioned, next weekend, the Breakers off. It'll be the season ticket holder party on the 26th. Looking forward to that. And fans will get to have their tickets, meet the guys. It's going to be a blast at the Hard Rock Cafe in Biloxi. And it looks like we're going to continue the stoppage a little bit. Charlie Penn's a couple more things he's relaying to his group. Mikey Roy might be working on something on the equipment side of things as well over there. So while we wait for everything to iron itself out, shots are 41-26 in favor of the Breakers. Appreciate everybody tuning in. As I mentioned, we are shorthanded with our graphics, so we do not have our score bug. We do not have our in-game stats. We don't have all that great stuff because it's blocked by the arena's connection. So we'll have that all for you beginning on the home opener. But apologies, we don't have it in the meantime. And, of course, the penalty clock will be there as well, so you can control all the madness going on. Quick shot in front. Breakers back on their heels. The kill unit is Crowder, Fisher, and Charbonneau. 6-on-3 for the Scarecrows. Here's Koash. Back out to the point. Papa Petros over to Koch. Into the skates of Fisher. Fisher back out for Papa Petros. Koash shoots off the post and out. Koash taking a glance at the clock after he rings one off the pipe. That one tipped in front. Crowder gets a reverse hit by Sneath over behind the plate. Papa Petros loading up, has his shot deflected by Charbonneau. Fisher getting involved, trying to clear out some real estate. Crowder pinches down low. Sneath pinned against the wall with Crowder. And now knocked away once again. Comes all the way back to the near side. Koch holding into the skates of Cole Crowder, and the Breakers are able to clear. The goalie is pulled as the Breaker unit will change out. Breakers have 4 guys out on the ice. They're supposed to have, or they just got a guy back. That's why. It was a 6-on-3. Now it's a 6-on-4 for the next 25 seconds. Pekarzik back over to Koash. Koash shoots. Save Rosenzweig. Pekarzik trying to chip it back on out. Koch back over across the blue line. Whalen down low. Checo holding. Surveying. Gets it to Koch again above the circle. Shot pass in front. Rosenzweig leaps on that one and hangs on. Smith grabbing a hold of Blake Keller now. And those two continue to share a few words. 33.9 seconds remaining. Keller realizes it's too late in the game to really entertain anything, especially with a proven heavyweight in Avery Smith. So after a quick breath, Fisher, Charbonneau will return to the ice, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout for Charlie Penn's group. We'll take it ourselves and be back in a moment.
Fly in for a daiquiri that scores every time. Mile High Daiquiris is an aviation-themed daiquiri shop and the official daiquiri of the Biloxi Breakers. Open 7 days a week and offering 15 refreshing flavors, Jello shots, beer, and even a non-alcoholic daiquiri. They supply mobile daiquiris for weddings, birthday parties, and events. Only 4.6 miles west of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. Grab your crew and come try the best daiquiris on the Gulf Coast where flavor takes flight. Become a frequent flyer at 1107 Cohen Road, Suite B, Gulfport.
Gagnon lets a one-timer go. Rosenzweig turns it aside. Goalie still pulled. It's now Lucchese running Wolf into the wall. Or rather, that was Fisher. Excuse me. And now Gagnon lost it for a moment. Breakers are back to full strength. 6-on-5 we go now. Fisher tries to wheel one around on goal. Run into by O'Reilly, who gave him a knee in the back. Charbonneau looking for his first pro goal. He missed it, trying to sauce it in. 5 seconds to go. Infantino and ice hit on Gagnon. And the Breakers, on the road in Topeka, earn their first win in franchise history by a final score of 6-3. Josh Rosenzweig picks up the win, stopping 26 of 29, and he celebrates with his team over in their zone. The Breakers victorious here tonight. What a game, what a weekend of hockey, entertaining, offense, fighting, physicality, defense. Yaro Yevdokimov flipping a puck over the glass to a fan right there. Pretty cool moment there, especially because the fan's probably not a fan of his. But you know what? He might have just earned a fan for life. What a game. The Breakers improved to 1-2. Infantino off the ice fires up the boys. And here we go into the victory celebration. The first smile Charlie Pens has cracked this season. Hopefully, we've got many more of those. 53 more games on tap. We're going to be back for the Breakers post-game show in a few short moments. Don't go anywhere. The Breakers pick up their first win in franchise history. We'll be back in a splash to break it all down right here on Breakers TV.
Now here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Welcome back into our Breakers TV post-game show. Devin Dobek along with you. We're all smiles here from high above the ice. The Breakers pull this one off by a final score of 6-3, their first win in franchise history. What a game it was. It was a very sloppy game and a very not disciplined game, or undisciplined game, if you will. Both teams took a decent amount of penalties, and there was some pushing and shoving, not a whole lot of fights. There was one major recorded for fighting between Infantino and Lind, but that wasn't much of a show, and it was early on in period one. The rest of the way, we had some chippy hockey, but some entertaining scoring for the Biloxi Breakers. What a night they had as they pulled this one off 6-3. How did we get there? Let's start first with the Scarecrows scoring the first goal. The Breakers still have yet to score the first goal of the game this season. Charlie Pens was looking for a quick, hot scoring start from his group. Did not get that, but still a relentless effort found a way to get it done. Gordon Whalen scores at 2:57 from Elijah Wilson to make it 1-0. That score held all the way through the first period with the shots 15-9 Breakers. Then it was Declan Conway with his second of the season from Crowder and Henry, making it 1-1 on the power play with a beautiful goal by Conway on the short side to beat Brizgalov. Then Dalton Anderson finishing a triangle tic-tac-toe play to make it 2-1 from Yevdokimov and Morrison. Morrison picks up his first professional point. Congratulations to Ewan. Then Yevdokimov again at 7:35 on the power play scores to make it 3-1 from Cole Crowder. Crowder had a big night as well on the score sheet. We'll talk about him a little more shortly. But the Breakers, far from done yet. The run would continue at 16:40. Declan Conway from Crowder and Henry makes it 4-1. Conway's second of the night. Cole Crowder picking up his third assist on that goal. Henry his second. Those guys were all over the score sheet tonight. Then at 17:51 on the power play, it's Avery Smith tipping home a Gordon Whalen shot from the point. Whalen had a good night of his own right. He had a goal and 2 assists. So a good night despite the loss for him. All three of the stars of the game were Scarecrows. Not one breaker was listed there. A little bit of a home ice bias there, but you understand, and that's what's going to happen sometimes. So we're at 4-2 right now. Then Carter Thornton, 8 seconds into the third period, made this building come alive with a huge goal to cut the deficit to 1 and make it 4-3 from Whalen and Sneath. But the Breakers showed their resilience once more. On the power play at 6:56, it's Yevdokimov once again from Cole Crowder and Caden Henry. Henry picking up his third assist of the evening. Crowder, his fourth assist. 4 assists for Cole Crowder tonight. That's a new career high for him. Congratulations to Cole. Yaro Yevdokimov with 2 goals and an assist tonight for the Breakers. He was exceptional. What an addition that was for Coach Penn's group. And then finally, another even strength goal for Caden Henry from Ewan Morrison and Lucas Pekarzik. Morrison with 2 points in his second professional game. Congrats to him. Henry picks up another goal. He's going to be a fun player to watch the rest of the way for these Breakers. But a whole flurry of penalty minutes throughout this game. The Breakers are going to have to play much more disciplined heading into their home weekend, but they're certainly going to be firing up the home crowd. We can't wait to have everybody in Breaker Bay. Thanks so much for joining me this weekend on these 2 broadcasts. As I mentioned, we haven't had absolutely everything we would like. We're going to have all of our graphics when we return home and going forward, so you'll get to see them because I know everybody's going to be in Breaker Bay, but then we'll have the graphics going nonstop. So we'll have starting lineups, we'll have in-game stats, we'll have scorers, we'll have coaches' graphics, players to watch, all that great stuff. But we just got denied one of the perks of being on the road. They have a firewall on the site that I use to make all my graphics, and basically you take the link from the site, put it into my broadcast system, and there it is. But I can't load into the site. And unfortunately, they couldn't resolve that issue in a game weekend, so we didn't get to do it, but I promise you the broadcast will continue to elevate, and I appreciate everybody for bearing with me in the meantime. We're also going to have much more sounds around the arena, so everybody's getting the full experience from wherever they're listening. If you're listening on YouTube, Sporfy on 106.3, or you're at Walk-Ons, thanks so much for tuning in to Breakers Hockey. They win this one 6-3 heading into the off week, but the boys will still be working hard, as I'm sure Brett Riley would let you know. But Coach Charlie Pence Jr. picks up his first win as the head coach in Biloxi, and the Breakers improve to 1-2. They'll be back at it October 31st, Halloween night, for the home opening game against the Monroe Moccasins. And back at it again on November 1st. We hope you can join us this week. We'll have our live coaches show, which may be with a player actually on Tuesday at the Hard Rock Cafe. Our season ticket holder party October 26th. And we also have official game pucks on sale now. Check out our Facebook page. The link is posted there where you can get your official Biloxi Breakers game puck, and our merch store as well as there. Get all your gear ahead of opening day. It's coming before you know it. Thanks so much to everybody for tuning in. On behalf of myself, Devin Dobek, we will see you next time. And always remember to live the dream.